Hello, welcome to Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition game on Reaper Miniatures channel. This is Reaper
Hi,
Errant.
everybody.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Sorry we're late.
For those of you who've played D&D, you know sometimes you have to catch up and get some of those social things out of the way if you got to get in the groove to play. It happens, and you have to do it. So, we're going to play some.
Cheers.
Cheers. Indeed.
Cheers. Oh,
Cheers.
yeah, thanks for warning.
Yeah.
Cheers.
How do you not
Cheers.
have a drink, Jason?
I do,
Cheers,
but it's
Pugh.
in my iced tea bottle, which I don't want to advertise.
Show us your seatmates.
Oh,
Seatmate.
My what?
seatmate. Your seatmate.
Who's sitting with you?
Oh,
You showed us
it's
earlier.
too much hassle to.
Oh, okay.
There's Michael.
All right.
Bigger than Michael at this point.
Aw. She looks much sleepier than she used to. There she is. She's awake.
Oh my
There
God!
she is. There she is.
You buddies.
What a
That's
pair!
Delilah and Enzo.
What a pair!
Oh, I was
Hey,
like, oh no, I'm on
Delilah.
camera.
Yep.
Who's Delilah's dog?
That's my daughter Olivia. You met Olivia.
Oh, yes.
They're super cute. And it's
Hey,
nice to have
Delilah.
partners in next to you when you stream. We lock ours in the bathroom.
Yeah, we'll
so-
see how long it lasts. They'll start picking at each other eventually.
Well, you have all the terrain. We're safe. We just have a few days.
Yeah, occasionally the bird will try to fly off with one of the people, so we really can't. The bird can't stay out.
Oh,
It's live action.
Oops.
Uh,
We just
I'll
write
see you
that
later, Pugh. Sorry. Wouldn't be the first time that a adventuring party was carried off by a rock.
that's
Ah,
true. Super true. Making sure. Okay, so
Birds eat lizards, Lagarto.
I'm gonna
That is a problem, isn't it?
I'm gonna say some thank yous to everyone, and then let everybody introduce themselves. Ooh, I hear us. Thank you to Reaper
I fixed
Miniatures
that.
for setting this up to make it happen. Thank you to Sirenscape for our background and ambient music that you will hear in the background of the game today. Thank you to Anne for being our technical director and camera operator. And thank you to all the players. All the players who I will now let introduce themselves and who they are playing this evening before we recap the story tonight. And I'll start in the traditional order with Bobby in the upper left.
Hello, good evening, and welcome. My name is Bobby Jackson. I'm playing Pugh, the mighty and indomitable gnome bard and nature boy, armed with my trusty war harp and positive mental attitude.
Very cool. Gene.
I'm interested to hear Usual play that war harp. We haven't heard him really do anything with it yet.
Yeah.
Well, what are you
No,
talking
he
about?
played-
I charmed the pants off these two clowns on the road just last episode. Oh, ye
Well,
of brief memory.
I don't know if I'd call it charming.
Okay.
You know,
I
No,
charmed the
it
lizard.
wasn't.
I charmed the lizard. The lizard is now my slave.
No.
Hi, I'm
I
Gene
agree
Van
with
Horn. I'll
you.
be playing Gooseneck, the lizard man barbarian, and I don't have a fancy harp, but I do have a fancy shield that floats around, and I have not had a chance to really use that yet. So I'm excited to hopefully get a chance tonight.
Yeah. So now we're on
We didn't need
number 3, Jason.
I'm Jason Wiebe. I'm playing Corncob Thunderbludgeon, a cleric, and probably sometime tonight an acolyte of Apara, unless I miss my guess.
Ooh.
Ooh. Michael.
Hi, I'm Michael, and I'm playing Abran, the Wood Elf Ranger, the abominable Wood Elf Ranger with an attitude problem, particularly
Honestly.
against little tiny gnomes.
And the subpar intelligence quotient.
Ron.
That's not a positive attitude problem, apparently.
No.
Good
no.
on the bow, though.
Yeah.
I'm Phasm, a tiefling who dresses poorly for adventures. But we're going to be in a city. For once, I'll be dressed correctly. And I like to use magic that I acquire in occasionally dubious fashion.
No less dubious than Abram, I would say.
No.
Jen.
I'm Jen. I play Kay Nimblewit, a human rogue, and I want to know when all the sculptors are going to update their minis for the new equipment that they've got.
Right.
Wow.
Hello.
We need to get these
mine's-
miniatures on into the sales or into the giveaway stream first, and then we're going to update.
Yeah.
Ooh, breaking news.
Mine's halfway done.
I'm sure over the years, it's been so many, and so many people thought about it.
Errant
It's probably
Hartwell.
just like cost prohibitive or something to have like swappable arms and weapons and armor. It's little paper doll style miniatures. I imagine that's difficult. But
Well,
probably
it gets
would be-
tough when you get down to like rings and knives and that sort of thing.
Yes, very much so. I am Frank. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. You just couldn't do it with metal miniatures. That sort of stuff is becoming more feasible with plastic, though.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. Bobby's got a thing for sprues.
In,
I'm a sprue boy.
Jen, I will answer your question in the tradition of Reaper soon.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
there you go. Next year.
I hear and understand.
Yeah. The updates aren't hard or slow at all. The updates, I believe, are probably ready. But
Oh. I am Frank.
Soon.
I'll be the DM this evening, or some facsimile thereof. And
Cranky dog.
when we last left, they had found their way finally to the town of Venn, a large port town that is seafaring, gets much of their trade and commerce from clamming, abalone, otters, apparently, and
We need to kill them all.
crabbing. And I imagine
to
there is
slaughter
also
them.
good fishing. Slaughter the otters. No.
No, not the
Slaughter.
otters. The people killing
Oh,
the
the
otters.
people
We
killing
need to
the
slaughter
otters. Okay.
the otter killers. Yes.
slaughter
They're
the otter
endangered
slaughter.
species.
Yeah.
That's,
Slaughter the
that's
otter
going
Slaughter
to
the otter
interfere with,
slaughter.
Otter
that's going
slaughter,
to
otter
interfere
kill.
with Jason's plan for a new otter suit.
No, I'm sure we can
Once it gets
confiscate some illegally taken otter pelts. That's
Yeah.
not hard to do.
Quite likely. And we begin with them trying to get into the city. I say trying. I'm sure they'll get there, but they have found that at the front of the gates there is a checkpoint, if you will.
Does Fathom have to make a dexterity roll in order to get into the city?
No, she should be good there.
Depends if
Okay,
she's
good.
trying to hide anything.
Just ask it.
But they found
Yeah,
so
what
there-
do we roll versus bureaucracy? When do we roll for that?
Yeah, not yet. Not this. Well, you're in line. You're right
fucking
there.
right.
Right ahead of you is a mother with her child. Sorry, let me put her up ahead a little
Yeah,
bit.
she should not look like she's associated with us. That's a bad plan
No.
for her.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
There is, however, just looking at
Ebron,
the
you get
board,
bonuses if you attack from the back.
a beggar has
Yeah,
pushed his way through.
Yeah, who's this beggar that looks like he's trying to blend in with our crew?
He
Who's this guy?
definitely looks like he's trying to blend in with the crew. I don't know
He's
who
a
he is.
pickpocket.
Yeah,
I'm going to
check
turn
your
around and say,
pocket.
get to the back of the line, bub.
Make a persuasion check.
All right. You asked for it.
Roll initiative.
I want to, check him over Sherlock style with my investigation. I'm not going to talk to him. I'm going to
Okay.
observe him while Jason talks to him.
18.
Investigation for you then.
18.
Fathom. 18. Corncob. So he says, excuse me, kind dwarf and gentleman. If you could spare just a coin or two of any.
We got nothing, pal.
Oh, what a shame. You
Out of the
look,
way, Peck.
you look well traveled. And
Draw back your
wise.
hand before you're drawing back a bloody stump. Get out of here.
Wow.
He,
That's some
he,
clarity right
just-
there.
he
I gesture
recoils.
to the guy, and I'm going to give the guy a coin and say, Forgive my grumpy friend, but
Yeah.
don't
Go talk
mingle with
to
our
little sucker in the
good
back. He'll set you up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
go hang out there with the pig cart. Here's a gold.
A gold. You give him
gold?
Oh,
gold?
whatever.
Wow.
Oh my
That's
God!
gotta
Now
coming
he's
out of
ours
your
forever.
pocket. It's coming out of your pocket. Yeah. No,
He says,
the rest of us didn't agree to
thank
that.
you, kind.
You're
Sir."
very
Well, he's
welcome.
gold.
I am kind, unlike the rest of these questionable characters.
Hey, I've given
Just-
people money
I
before.
don't have a
You're
stat
just
for kindness.
Then the
No, you're just
majority.
encouraging him.
Not
I
all.
rolled a 9, so I don't think I discern
A
anything
9.
particular about him.
No, what you discern by looking is that the clothes do look dirty. He does have a little bit of a smell coming off him that's a little
If he was a good beggar, he'd be inside the gate.
not great. And you know he looks like a beggar to you.
So he
It's not
seems
un-
He's a
legit.
pickpocket.
Yeah, he seems legit.
Mm,
He
Well, I
goes
am going
back.
to keep an eye on my belt pouch and whatnot.
I think he's overselling it.
Oh, thank
Feed
you.
him to the lizard.
He turns to the lizard because the lizard seems to have been chatting with you at some point on the way. The lizard folk, in this case, and just sort of the eyes linger. He looks a little bit like scared, but then slows down as though you might be just as kind as your compatriot.
I'll flip him a silver.
Oh, such generosity!
Oh, geez.
True heroes you must be. And he just heads back a little bit.
You never know.
Let's just forget murder hobos. Let's just call ourselves a flock of pigeons.
Frank, while everybody's distracted, I'm just going to stealth my way to the front of the line.
Okay. It is difficult. However, make a stealth check. It's a straight stealth check.
Yeah, well, I'm not exactly trying to hide. I'm just trying to not be noticed.
Yep.
I got a 28.
Well, the easier.
Okay.
Boom!
Yeah,
You
you're
stealth
able
the
to
crap out of that.
slip up there. No one really notices that you're up there. The woman and the child goes through, and left are the two guards. You can see one. So in this frame, you can see the two guards that are blocking the path. And then one sort of gentleman off to the side, a lot of scrolls, clearly has a pair of glasses on, clearly observing everybody and writing things down, cataloging names with weapons, as you've heard. So the woman and child had no weapons as they came through, and he didn't really write anything down for that. But others you
So
saw
we're sending
ahead
our attorney in
said
first.
that. I think
Yes.
He
so.
might be the one we need to donate some more coins to.
Yeah.
Our
I'm
attorney
trying to
might
escape
be
the
pretending
beggar.
she doesn't notice us.
Yeah, I'm sure this was the lawful mayor of the city in beggar's clothes just to judge us.
Pugh, you had a question.
How long? What kind of interrogation are these people getting? How long? How long does it take?
It's fairly quick. You see, it's under a minute for most people. They're asking name, if there are any weapons that they're carrying in town with them, and basically what their plans are in Vin. You know, how long they're staying and what their plans are.
Okay.
So no. So suddenly, well, I don't. It kind of depends on UK how you want that, but you probably won't be able to sneak past the guards. You can see that fairly clearly, but you've unnoticed while everybody's distracted moved it to the front. How would you like to handle that?
I'm just going to wait my turn and answer the questions.
Okay. So you're up next, and they kind of look up surprised, like they were looking at a dwarf that was going to be next. They talked to this woman, they looked up, and there you are. So they're a little off guard, which is beneficial to you. You can clearly see immediately that's going to be beneficial to you. Yes. Purpose in Vin, and name, please.
K Nimblewit, I'm looking for work.
Looking
I'm
for
told
work.
there's a ship that's hiring.
Yes, many ships here, and also you can try many of the local jobs as well. There's some good crabbing, and if you're good with clamming, that's a good job. Any weapons that you want to that you have on your person?
Yeah, I got a bow here and this rapier.
Just a bow and a rapier. Yes. Okay. So the person that's off to the left sort of tips down their glasses a little bit, and you can see looks. Kay, do you have any magical items on you?
Just the cloak that I'm wearing, and the other cloak, which is probably in a pack.
Okay.
Just a couple magic cloaks.
So yeah, he just tips down the glasses at you and looks kind of up and down. You get the feeling that those glasses are, he's looking through them in particular. They might give him insight. But make an insight check to see how much you think he can see.
Ooh, I want those glasses.
I got a 14.
14. You are pretty confident that the stuff in your pack is probably secure. Anything out in the open, at least this is what you believe. The stuff in your pack you probably can't see, but anything externally visible, you feel like they could probably tell if it was magic by looking at it. The way he's looking at you and the way he pauses on your cloak, but kind of just overlooks your pack that's got the item in it. So, no problem. You may go through. Do you, this is just a sort of a frank question. Do you claim any kind of camaraderie or that these people behind you are part of your team, or are you just kind of going in separate?
I'm just gonna go in.
Okay.
I don't know
makes
those
it in,
fools
everyone.
behind me.
Once
Later,
again,
suckers.
the smart one
Yeah,
of our group.
yeah. Look, I was a door not too long ago. I can leave these guys behind really easily.
I mean, once I'm past the guards, I'll wait for him, but
Oh, okay.
Right.
Nice of you. So you already told a lie in a lawful town. Right at the gate, you've told a
No,
lie.
Frank
That's a
has
lie.
that. Not the
No,
guard.
that was Frank. That was just Frank. That's that. Yeah.
All
I
right.
didn't tell any lie.
Okay, all right.
Omission.
Nobody asked me if I
Oh.
was traveling with anyone.
Just wait, I'm up next.
That's right. Sir, yes. They seem a little more put together when they get to you, Corncob. Please, your name and your business in Venn.
I'm Corncob Thunderbludgeon. I'm always looking for work, but I've heard great things about your food and drink in this town.
Seafood lover. Excellent. You'll have a wonderful time here.
If I see food, I usually love it.
We do get some spices on the ship as well. Ships come in. We have some exotic things. So, are you? You're not looking for work. You're always looking for work, but you plan on staying.
Always looking for work. Yeah, I don't mind making a quick buck.
Will you be here long, do you think, or just looking for until you get a job?
Well, I might find a job and I might stay here longer, but I would assume that I'd be here maybe a week or two.
Okay. Any weapons you'd like to declare on the way in?
Sure, I got this here mace. I got this quarterstaff. I got my little belt knife. Pretty much it.
Okay. Yeah, they look you up and down. Mace, quarterstaff, belt knife. Good. Excellent. Please, yeah, step through. And they write it down. They write your name, and well, the one gentleman writes your name, and you just sort of pass through. Let me know, everyone, as you go through, if you're going to conceal or try to conceal anything from them, because I'll
Okay.
trust you.
I'm not gonna. Mr. Spectacles didn't check me out with his magic glass.
Well, he did. He did kind of look you up and down. What kind of magic items are you having?
Oh, he's looking at those pants.
Yeah, he saw some rings that haven't benefited the party yet.
I'm deathly scared of drowning, which doesn't go well with my seafood fixation. So I have a couple rings that help me breathe in the water sometimes, and then I have these wonderful pants that help me swim. But that's pretty much it.
It looks like a fine pair of pants. I don't give you any hassle over. Those are very common
Thank you.
items. No hassle.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, well, I haven't seen another pair of pants like this, but I could see where someone else might be wearing them in this town.
Maybe you could start a whole gang of otter pants wearing people.
Fathom, you're next. I let Sidwe put you all in line, so you're in the line that she put you in, which is a nice random assortment. I like it.
Hello, guards.
Hello. They just ask you pretty much the same line. What's your purpose in Vin?
I'm expecting to hire on with one of the ships that stops here.
Ah, excellent. And so just hire on and out to sea then. If you don't find one,
I
will
expect
you
so. I mean, it's possible that I'd find something to do in your town that's more appealing than voyaging. But so far, my plan is the ship. I don't think I'd be very good at clamming.
Oh, it is. They look at your clothing and they say it is dirty work, admittedly.
Well, and Water and I don't have a great history, so.
Oh, okay. Any weapons you'd like to declare on the way in?
Yeah, let's see. So I've got my regular dagger and my fancy dagger. And, I mean, this is really just a walking staff, but I guess you could use it as a quarterstaff if you wanted. And then I have this crossbow that I never use, so I wonder why I'm carrying it around. I think that's everything.
Oh, so they look and they go, the crossbow. Crossbows are a little bit regulated. We'll have to just register that a little bit.
Okay.
And a small 1 copper fee.
Okay.
And they kind of just look at you, take down the name. If that's all good with you, then erase the copper and they let you through.
It's just common sense.
I mean, honestly, I don't know why I'm still carrying the thing. I'm hopeless with it. Probably should just dump the weight.
Well, they do not have a problem with that.
Give it to the beggar.
Let you through. So I'm assuming you're all slowing down and waiting on the other side, so we'll just put you on the other side. Pugh, you're up next, and they look at you and they smile happily as you come up. Welcome in. And you have two instruments on you, so fine bard traveler. We're always looking for bards in the town. What's your purpose in Vin?
I am Pugh the Positive. I'm here to spread joy and pleasure to all who survey my antics and enjoy my music. I only have one weapon to declare, which is a crossbow, but I don't think I've ever actually managed to harm anything with it. But you're welcome to write it on your list if you wish.
I understand 1 copper, and we'll just write this down.
Very good.
And they take it down. They take down your name and register it out, I guess.
That's positive with a P. Pugh the Positive.
Pugh, yes. Positive. Absolutely. And how long do you plan on staying, Pugh?
As long as the busking is fruitful.
I see. Okay. All right.
Until every heart is lifted.
Enjoy.
That's right. A smile on every face.
Enjoy your stay in Vin. I mean, it's kind of hand-wave. I mean, it doesn't take long to get past all these things, but you're learning some interesting things, perhaps, about what they feel is important.
Yeah, what's the worry about crossbows? I can do way more damage with all of them things. You're in trouble. You're in trouble, Mr. Elf.
Abran, you get up there, and they look and they go, "Ah, sir, gentlemen, please, what's your purpose in Vin?"
Boat. Get on a boat.
Boat. It's very common. So, how long do you think you'll stay?
Till the boat leaves.
Till the boat leaves. Of course. Of course. They slow down a little bit. Do you have any weapons on you I'd like to declare?
I got a bow and a sword.
A bow and a sword, I see. That odd. Well, hold on. Where do you have your Rook-Tarky rifle?
I'm sure it's in my sack, but sticking up out of my back.
Yeah, it's a rifle, so it's unusual.
Yeah.
They just look for a moment, a bow and a sword. They don't have any problem with the bow. They don't have any problem with the sword. They look and go, "What is that item? I don't think I've seen one of those before."
It's an ornate cane that was crafted by my grandfather.
Do you take it out to show it, or do you just say that?
Just say that.
Okay. Make a persuasion check at advantage. Or make a bluff. A bluff is a skill, right? Bluff is one of our skills in Fifth edition.
Is it?
No,
I've
there's
never seen that.
Deception.
Deception.
Make a
Deception.
deception check at advantage.
All right.
They don't have a lot of reason.
Okay, there it is. How about a 20? Natural.
20. Perfect. They go, oh, what a
It
wonderful
was a 20.
creation.
Good thing you gave me advantage because I had a 20 and I got a 1. So
Oh. So they say wonderful. They take your name down, that you have 2 weapons, no fees. Boom, in you go.
Wait, how come regular
fees.
bows are fine and crossbows are suspicious?
I imagine it's the skill level required to use them.
Yeah,
that's it.
I guess that makes sense.
Any rabble can
Crossbows
use
are
a
more
crossbow.
concealable.
Any riffraff can use a crossbow.
Um,
Isn't that right, Pugil?
Yes. Any untalented pseudo marksman can pull the trigger of a crossbow.
Gooseneck, you approach. I say,
Oh yeah.
oh, yes. We have wonderful seafood here. You might enjoy some. What is your purpose, though, Invin? What do you plan on?
I make things with bones.
An artisan. Wonderful. A crafter. Can always use that. Are you looking for work? Will you be here? How long will you be here?
Till I run out of bones.
Okay. Do you have any weapons on you?
Yes. I have an axe. I have a blowgun with darts. And I have a dagger. I also have a short bow.
Okay. They write it down. They look at it.
Teeth, claws,
The
bite attack.
As what has happened with all of you, all the gentleman with the scrolls, the parchment, look up and down, write down all the information. Please come in. Come in and enjoy your time in Van.
Thank you.
And you are both all through the gate, no problems started. However, you're all through. I'd like you all to make perception checks as you were coming through.
$15.
18.
17.
21.
All great numbers. Pugil, you had a shake of your
23.
head. 23, another great
Yeah. Where's my perception?
They're under persuasion.
gosh.
No
Well,
performance.
let's go with my passive.
Okay.
I have a passive of 11.
Okay. So, yeah, Pugil, you probably don't notice anything. It was a very cheery, happy experience for you. They were wonderful to have musicians in here. It was perfect. Everyone else.
So you have such a low perception because you're short?
No, it's because I'm apathetic.
Okay.
So, as you, everyone else, seems to be a somewhat new process. As you're coming through, there's not a lot of people used to it.
Did the beggar get through?
You. Well, he keeps
he trying to
moving
get through?
backwards in the line. He doesn't seem to be
That's what I
trying to
thought.
move through so much as just trying to beg.
Okay,
As
that's
it were.
fine with me.
So you're in the city. What is your plans? Mudworm, Redwood Foundation.
I say mudworm.
Yes, I agree.
Here, go with the flow.
Mudworm.
That's
Okay.
Mudworm.
It doesn't
Where we
sound
going?
promising in, but we can check it out.
Oh.
Well,
Ooh,
Maybe,
scene change.
if we're thinking about getting on that
And
boat,
scene.
maybe we should check in with the boat and see if when they're leaving, so we know how much time we have. Because if it's like we're leaving this
Yeah.
afternoon, then we don't really need to get rooms.
Ah,
Hmm.
It's fair.
Yeah,
That's a good plan.
I'm
not
ready to
getting
get
on a
on the
boat.
boat too.
Okay, so the docks first.
You're not?
I am.
You got all the stuff.
I mean,
You're
we went
loaded
through all
for
the
boat.
trouble to get it here.
I'm gonna kill some otter killers first.
So
Just on the way by.
you get down to the docks. It's easy to find the dockmaster. Silver Swan, if that is the ship you're looking for, that's the contact you have, is not in port. They're expecting them, but they haven't returned yet. Not a precise kind of science.
How busy is this port? I mean, is there lots of boats? Is there big boats, small boats?
There's a lot of
Ships.
boats. There are big ones, small ones. There are things that would be considered ships, things that would be considered rowboats and craft.
So is it bustling? Is it bustling, Frank?
Yeah, it's bustling.
Ooh, it's bustling.
I'd say bustling is a good
Okay.
word for it. It's not huge commerce bustling. It is large commerce bustling, but not individual, like a bunch of large ships. It's more tons of small ships.
Okay,
Um,
that's better.
does the harbor master know when the ship is due?
They expect
Or
them
if it's due?
within the week or two.
Oh, wow.
So we got time to get some otters and take down the red hand or the red, whatever it is,
You also have, I mean, you could do that, or you could
red foundation.
lay low.
I think that's a
for week.
long-term plan thing. We need to gather
No, I know.
information first because they're
Exactly.
everywhere.
We should just go in guns blazing.
No.
Murder hobo. Hello.
You can
No,
walk
no.
by any of these places. You could kind of. I mean, you don't know where it is, but you imagine you could find it and take a look if you wanted to. Maybe it's on your way to the Mudworm. I'm not really sure. You're not really sure, rather.
Which
not
one
sure.
is the jewelers, the Tiny Pearl and Johnson's? Which one's closest to the Mudworm?
Tiny Pearl is closer.
So is the party headed to the Mudworm?
Yeah, let's do that.
Like to make sure that it's not too much living up to the name before I sign up. But
Oh.
It's supposed
get
to
it.
be the best inn around.
Ooh, well, the dwarves said it was the best, but not the most luxurious. That would have been like the Gilded Blade, as I recall.
Plus, they're dwarves.
right.
Wow.
Well, we can go
Well, the
check the
boat
place
might be
out.
short for the human people.
Could be. Okay.
Off to put two of their beds together.
Mm-hmm.
So you approach a tavern. So let me give you a little bit of.
so there's no literal mud.
Well, yeah, that's why I was like, let me give you a little bit
Okay.
of background on this as you approach. So, looking at the shore as it goes, there is one side where there's a large kind of rocky outcropping, and it is fairly rocky on one side of this bay. It's kind of steep. There's even what some people might consider cliffs that that fall down into the water, and it is not muddy at all. It's lots of stones washing up. This is the deep port side of the harbor. You can see some of the bigger ships anchored out in that direction. The other side, the tide is down a little bit right now, and it is like mud flats. And you have to walk out. You can clearly tell you're walking out to just to where a high tide would come up. And maybe in bad conditions, it would come up even further. So you can see as you approach this tavern that it's up on like a large stone. It's been built on top of a stone that's sort of cropping up in the middle of these mud flats. And the mud...
Does it smell pretty much like I'd expect it to smell?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does. You see a lot of people out there at this time walking around, shovels, digging up in the mud, buckets. They're pulling things out, working down a good distance from where this tavern actually is. And this is your approach.
Is that one of
the tavern?
Is that one of Gooseneck's family's head above the door?
So there is a sign that says Mudworm, and it shows a dragon coiling kind of out of the mud, and then it's got a dragon head over the top. And so Mudworm is spelt with a Y in this case.
So based on
like
our
one of
recent
your new
Family
experience,
dragon head. I'm sorry.
It is a small dragon head. And what was that, Kay?
based on our recent experience, does that look like an actual dragon head, or does that look like somebody, carved a wooden one or something?
Great question. Based on your experience, it looks like it is probably not real. So, you see a couple people out on one of the, it looks like a deck or patio, but you're welcome to go in if you like or check out along.
Let's go in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
pick a fight.
In you go. I'm going to pull all this stuff off so we can get to it and see inside the mud one.
You guys are all into the snogging. All right, I'll just try love with it.
That's good. So you walk in, just as you walk in, there's like a counter where it's clear you pick up food, and then it splits off. You can see the kitchen behind it, and it splits off in other directions where there's some tables. Doors on either side at the far ends, here and over here, that lead out to other eating areas. So in modern terms, this is like cafeteria style, family seating style place. And there are a lot of, you would expect to see normally workers in here that are working, but right now is their opportunity to go get clams. So they are out there.
They're all out looking for gooey ducks.
Yep. So right now in here you get what is clearly more like ship crew, I guess you would say. You don't see anybody special necessarily in terms of guards or nobility or anything like that. However, the person behind the counter, Tiefling, happily greets you. Welcome to the Mudworm. Grab a cup, grab a plate. I'll put you up some food, put your coin down, and find a place to eat.
Oh, that's great.
Let's do it.
Okay. And you can see a little sign that it is 1 silver for the meal and drink. And they pour you a bowl of like a seafood chowder, basically. What they're serving in here at the moment.
All right.
Not shocked.
Chowder.
I'll say, I heard the dwarves tell us this is an excellent chowder.
The best. I'm glad the dwarves have mentioned so. We get dwarves from time to time. Wonderful. I hope you enjoy it.
Is it the local clams?
All local food, all fresh.
Mm.
And the beer is local too, semi-local. Not within Vin, but just on the outskirts. Are you new here, looking for work? What brings you in? So she stops to slow down a little bit and talk as you open up this conversation.
We're waiting for the silver swan to come in.
Oh, the cartography ship. Interesting.
Mhm.
Most would be looking to hire on to. You must be good protecting, perhaps, or good with cartography, which I.
Not so much. Not so much the cartography.
Okay.
It doesn't really look like he's good at cartography.
No, but
I'm good with bones.
good with an axe for sure.
Good with an axe.
Okay. Then, yeah, we expect the Silver Swan. They always come in here when they.
So did we think there were rooms available here?
Yes, so the dwarves told you there were
Oh.
rooms available. They are not attached to the tavern, and don't let them
Okay.
tell you that they're not available.
Okay, that's what I thought.
There aren't any available. They're all full.
No, they.
Oh,
Did we want rooms?
Looks
I
like
think we need a
'em.
base.
I'm asking the group.
Yeah.
do you want?
Looks like we
Because
need
it
'em.
sounds like
somewhere.
there's only one other inn to stay at, the Gilded something.
No, there's.
There's lots, but those are the two the dwarves recommended: the Gilded
Oh,
Blade and for
I think
for
this makes the most sense. It's cheap. Get a good bowl of
And-
chowder.
Well,
Lady
we
said
assume it's
there's
cheap.
the Silver Swan comes in, so
Yeah. Get a bowl of chowder.
all right. Well, let's ask her if we can. Since we're waiting for the Silver Swan, and they come here, can we get some rooms to wait while we're waiting for the Silver Swan to return?
Of course, no problem. 5 silver, meals covered, rooms covered. They're not attached. They are just at the high tide mark. Small bungalows.
so if the
Will
tide
I
goes
fit
too
in
high,
the bed?
we're in the mud.
Rarely would it do that, and this isn't the season for it. You should be safe.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, she's pretty matter of fact about it, and probably not used to that a lot, but took notice of you a little bit in your questions, so had no problem recommending.
You might want to take a deposit from him for the bedding.
Me? I paid up front.
It's not expensive.
Well,
That is
we'll all pay
absolutely
up
a fair
front.
So it's
price.
5 silver. Is that a night or a week?
Yes, a night.
Or a night. Okay.
I just can't imagine what that scaly hide's going to do to 800 thread count Egyptian cotton sheet.
I've just
Yeah,
been
I was
using your
wondering
otter
that.
pants when you don't have them on.
Yeah.
Hey, they slip around, man. What do you mean when I don't have
I
them on?
know.
Now
That's why they're great for bedding.
You can correct me or stop me or say you want to go somewhere else. I'm moving you to the most open area if that
What time
where
is
you
it
want to eat.
during the day?
Please.
It's probably midday.
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Lots of time.
We haven't rested in a long time, though, haven't we? Well, we were resting, but
Yeah.
did that count as a full night of rest when we?
You had a full night of rest. You
Okay, then
should
do-
be-
Yeah, we haven't needed to. Do we want to get the gnomes tiny pearl mission done with?
I think it would make him happy.
Yeah, it'd be great.
So as you come out here, you see two gentlemen talking fairly seriously. They go quiet immediately as you come out. They kind of look over at you suspiciously.
Go charm him, Pugh.
I'll nod to them.
You'll nod to them.
Okay, at least acknowledge their existence.
Okay. They just nod and they're fine. They kind of hunker in close to each other.
Were we interrupting something, gentlemen?
Oh, we were.
We just came out here to get some fresh air.
The air is free for everybody. We just keep our voices lower.
Do they have any tattoos on their forearms?
Yeah, their forearms are mostly showing. They do not have any of the tattoos you were thinking of. No. They might have a few tattoos, but nothing major. I'm going to move this down while you're out here. So,
Those two guys are to the left on the screen there.
yep. And they were chatting.
But they seem
So-
a little suspicious.
They seem very suspicious, at least very private, and they don't want to share what's going on with you.
Does anybody have a any sort of listening device or listening
is it-
spell?
Send a message. I don't think I can listen any better.
Ooh,
If
do
we
I have
do
any good
this-
spells?
But you can all make
Cup your
perception
ear,
checks.
lizard
They may
man.
be difficult.
Oh, that's
but
right.
can
You don't have
certainly-
ears. You just have ear holes. Put your hand up and make it like it.
I do know this
I'd
person
like to
is-
make a perception check, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let me sit on their side of the table. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tw-
Okay.
I don't want to know what they're saying. Just get
I
us
rolled
in
a
trouble.
22.
16.
Okay, 22, 16, and Kay, what was yours?
She probably got an 80.
No, just a 22.
Just a 22. So the two people close rolled a 22. And
nice. Funny how that worked out.
it is funny how that worked out. So in this case, 20 and over, you hear them talking about, some of the words are not clear, but you think that they're talking about roughing somebody up down by the docks, a business person
Ooh.
of some sort. Plan on doing it this evening, from what you can tell, but you're just catching bits of the conversation and words. They may have been asked to do this. Money might have changed hands. They might be doing it out of some sort of vengeance themselves. You're not 100% sure, but you are sure they're talking about roughing somebody up. You think it's by the docks. You think it's tonight.
Do we hear a name?
You do not make out any names.
They missed the memo about this being a super lawful town.
Ooh.
What about citizens' arrests? Are those legal?
Law takes different forms.
Wonder if
The
his name
This
is
is the law
Deku.
the docs we're talking about, Rhonda.
So this, yeah, that is, I don't know, it probably isn't unsettling to you, but it's interesting that they would be talking about it, perhaps, knowing that this is a
Yeah.
lawful town. They don't seem to be worried about the law, this conversation, but they are definitely worried about talking about it, being heard saying it, and the perception of people that might hear you.
Now, they don't have any distinguishing. These are obviously civilian guys. They don't
Yeah.
seem to be affiliated with any.
Nope. They do not seem to be affiliated, even with those perception
Does-
checks, the high ones. They just seem like citizens.
Do the people that can hear them share this information with us?
Yes.
Well, probably not while they're listening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the trick, right? You're as close to them as they are to you.
Giving them a little subtle
So,
sign
but-
language.
But
No,
unless
Abram.
you- unless
No,
you
don't
want,
attack them, Abram.
Unless you want to interrupt before they leave, they wrap up their conversation, give you some other sort of looks that are like, nah, I don't know if we trust them, and then begin to walk out. So,
So we heard that they were contemplating. Are they
They-
heading towards the docks as they walk away?
well,
It's
they're
not-
heading back in the restaurant at the moment, or in the tavern at the moment.
Are they just moving away, or are they walking with
I'm gonna-
purpose, or like
Yeah,
we're
they're
gonna
walking
go do
like-
this
they're-
now?
They're
or-
walking like they're done with their lunch and they're heading back to work. They're
I'm going to ask, what did they say?
Eh,
And we
you're
tell
waiting
them.
until after they leave. Okay.
I tell them.
So the question is, do we want to get involved or not?
I don't know
No.
why we would.
That
Why
is
would you-
Feel
why-
like
asking
Aberrant
for
why
thinks
not?
something's going to explode. That's why we're
Someone's
doing
gonna
it.
get their ass kicked. That's how it works.
We are.
Well, there might be a reward in it if we save the person that's getting
Yeah.
attacked.
All right.
Or Or we
I
could
don't know.
murder
Yeah, we
somebody.
might also end up in the clink if we get caught in the middle of a fight.
That's true too. That's why I'm asking. Do you guys want to get involved or not?
We gotta.
Or we could.
Is there some kind of fight
Yes,
club around
no.
here? We gotta release the pressure valve on our elf.
Should we all those say aye?
So,
they-
some of you rolled very well about the knowledge of this town earlier,
Yes.
and so it's fair to share that there are. It is very lawful, but there are tons of ways to work within the law. So all you would need to find out if there was some sort of, I mean, it's sort of a don't get caught, and if this is contractually okay, then maybe it was okay for them to do that. But so there are two approaches you could, right off the bat that come to your mind. There are probably many more, but immediately the two obvious ones are, if they get caught and you're the ones to catch them, that's obviously some sort of illegal breaching of that. Or if you were to maybe set up some sort of, well, killing them would be questionable unless they had some sort of contract for them. That would be more difficult. That's very clear to you.
Now,
And we
the
did not hear
impression-
the name of the person who was the victim. Correct.
Right, you did not get the name of the victim. But
We got
yeah,
somewhere in the docks. Do we know
Yes.
the spot, the location,
what you
or did they mention a location?
Is this
They-
a killing or is this a roughing up? This
They
was a
said the
roughing
shallow
up, right?
docks, and it is a roughing up, not a killing. And you do know, as you've come through town, that there are definitely things like contracts on people. Well, what's that? Bounties.
I have an idea. Why don't we go down when this is supposed to happen? We go down
Let's
a little
tail
bit
them and
before,
bet on it.
and we just watch and see what happens, and maybe we can step in, and maybe we don't.
I like that idea.
Yeah. It'll kill some time. Let's go watch.
We've got
Yeah.
2 weeks.
You've
till the
got
boat
time.
Well,
comes.
we have time to go to the jewelry store, I think.
You absolutely have time to go to the jewelry store in the meantime.
Go into the jewelry store.
You can enjoy your meal, check out your
We got to
rooms,
bling up our bard.
and go to the jewelry store.
We got to get our bard bedazzled.
Oh my god.
I need to get a magic weapon.
Bard dazzled.
Or
Yeah,
bedazzled.
Bard Dazzled.
Bedazzled.
Bard Dazzle. I
Mm,
do want to be
This-
Bard Dazzling.
with this little harp.
Yep.
Okay.
A veritable Liberace he is.
Yes, he is. The Liberace gnome.
Oh, you got to make a miniature of that now.
Let's
Yeah.
get him a
Yeah.
mink cape.
Mink.
Big cape,
Liberace of
sequins.
Picture Boys.
When I was
Yeah.
a young child, my grandfather was a waterproofer, and he told me that the hardest waterproofing job he ever did was Liberace's swimming pool, because it had all the piano keys of a grand piano sheet. Sorry.
Oh,
Huh.
see, I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah.
So,
What does that mean, Proctor?
I don't know.
Why are you challenging him?
Curious.
Why are you
Okay.
saying-
Okay.
So you're
so
going to
we
the
checked out
jeweler.
the rooms. Then we're going to the jewelry store for Pugh.
Yep.
I wish
The
my
rooms
brother George was
are
here.
simple. They're like little straw huts, basically. They are not in the mud. They're just where the sand starts to get solid. You can tell
I
unless
really
there's
hope
a
this is
storm.
less expensive
Does-
than that other
Does
place.
one
It
hut
is
hold us
super
all?
expensive. No, you're
Or-
going to have to divide into at least 2 huts, which is fine. That's fine. So if you divide into 2 huts, then it's only going to cost you a gold a night for all of you.
All
And
right.
that's food, and that's the chowder, all the wonderful.
Let's
things.
let's do it.
So
We're
the
giving
Howls
gold
go
away
in
to
one
bums.
hut, Skipper
Might
and
as well.
Gilligan in another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's going to invent the coconut phone? Okay, you got to invent the coconut phone.
Yeah, that's
So-
totally me.
All right. So let's we have our huts. So do we have time to go to the jewelry store? You guys want to go check out the
Yeah,
dock fight?
This roughing up isn't going to happen till it's at night, so you have time.
And we have a pretty good idea of where it's supposed to take place.
Yeah, it's on the shallow side, not the deep docks. It's you didn't hear enough to know who it is, but you know that it's in the more commerce side. And it's probably someone local feel it's a business dispute.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to.
Okay. So
Let's go to the jewelry store.
let me make sure again. Which jewelry store? The Tiny Pearls, where you're going?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
Tiny Pearl is a very small building. It is.
Hence the name.
It is.
Yeah, it turns out to be the
Yeah, otherwise
shop.
it'd be the massive pearl.
It's as you approach, it's a little bit askant, perhaps askew, which however you'd like to say it, and
Callywampus.
Kerfuffle.
Yeah. And inside, as you open it up, there's a little tinkling of shells that are all on a string, and they just sort of clatter together as you open it up. Open up the door, go in.
Oh, I've been in one of these places before.
And behind the door, looking
Watch your
up,
tail, Gooseneck.
as you come in, is a gnome. It's got
perfect.
some
Another
glasses
one.
on,
Oh, damn. Another one.
glasses on glasses, magnified, looking up. Oh, yes, come in.
Hail, brother.
Oh,
His name is
friends.
Earl.
Miniature painter or jeweler? Glasses on glasses.
He is Tiny Pearl. It's Pearl himself.
Yeah, what? How can I help you? Do all of you have business here? What a wonderful day.
No. Oh, shut.
We just go everywhere together. We're not sure why.
Yes.
We're a bit codependent.
Never split the party.
Oh, wow. My name is Rajal. Could you? Who will I be doing business with today?
That would be
Talk to the gnome.
Yes, Pugh the positive. Step aside, dwarf. I have in my possession a stone that is very important to me and to my friends here as well, but of any great particular monetary value. My desire is to have it mounted so that I can secure it on a chain around my neck rather than trust it to a pocket, which is more likely to be picked. And I need it done very quickly.
Oh, well, that is partially unusual, but not really, and that is a common request. I see a stone. Lovely. May I see it? I get a size,
Certainly.
an idea of its size. And what kind of mounting would you like? What kind of the chain? We have some gold and some silver.
Sturdy. Some silver alloy that is very, very sturdy.
Silver, then. Yes, okay. Well, absolutely. So do you hand him the stone?
Yes.
He looks at it. Says, oh, it's large. Well, a mounting like this shouldn't be a problem, but you need it rushed. Normally, I would only charge about 2 or 3 gold to mount this. Maybe 5 gold for a good silver chain.
And how quickly can you do it?
I have some other people ahead of you. If I put them off, I lose a deal. Make a persuasion check.
What would it cost if you did lose a deal? What would it cost you?
I'd lose a good 20 gold, sir.
Well, here's my concern. Get your jobs done. I don't want to cost you any money, and I certainly would not want to spend any more than I need. But when would be advisable for me to come back so that I'm at the head of the line?
I mean, certainly, if you were, are you able to drop the stone off with me?
I would prefer not.
Oh,
just measure its dimensions and construct the setting, and then I'll return for the mounting. This is an extremely precious stone to my friends and I.
I see.
Precious.
See the headline now. Blue dragon lands on Tiny Pearl.
Yes.
That's
This
a good
is the
headline.
wrong gnome.
Well, okay. Then
Dragon may not be able to tell the difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
very
Crunch.
small.
One gnome crunches like another.
Well, if I take the measurements today and maybe in advance, I think the total might be 15 gold for a fine silver chain. I have one already made. He pulls it out, looks at it. You can see it's quite nice. Well done. And then 15 gold to 2 total. If I could get 7, say, in advance, then
Certainly.
then I think if you came back in 2 days, I could mount it. It might take me an hour or so to mount it, that you'd have to wait if you don't want to leave it out of your sight for very long. But yeah, that's a small price. So we don't have a large shop. And I see your friends crowding the door out there. It's not much for them to do, but I'm sure you can. Are they your bodyguards, sir?
They're just my friends. I'm sorry they make you nervous. They make me nervous as well, stomping around with their oversized feet.
That one looks like he could just licking his chops, perhaps. Well,
Yes. Their dimensions are grotesque and inelegant, and I apologize for their presence, but they are my friends.
All of us?
And I particularly apologize for the presence of the odious elf.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought. But of course, yes. So 2 days, return. Just give me a few moments to take the measurements and look around if you like.
Here's 10 gold, friend. Do an extra fine job.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Yes.
I will see you in 2 days' time.
Takes it, looks at it, measures it. There's a little bit of hesitation at one point when he was looking through, like, wow, seems like a generic. It seems like, oh, maybe this is a very nice, it's a nicer, more valuable than you might have let on. He might think that at least, but he doesn't say much. Just a small hesitation, and when he's evaluating it. Seems to be doing his job well, and you can easily move on from there. He has come back in 2 days.
All right. I've left my deposit, and we depart.
All right.
So if we ever need money,
Other
we
than
can
that-
just sell the gnome, is what I heard.
Perhaps.
Only if you can find a buyer, and that might be tricky.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Blue Dragon.
We'll have to figure out where the slave pits are.
you head down, to the docks. Leisurely, it will take you. You'll have to kill some time. So let me give you a little rundown, unless there's something in particular you want to do. Some things you will learn about this town, if you wish, during the time while you're killing a little time to get down to the docks. Things that might be important to you.
Okay.
You do find a bounty board.
Definitely check that out.
So
I like that.
there appears to be reasonable. There seems to be work in here that is not the killing time. It's all apprehending. Everybody gets to. Now they don't have to come back in perfect condition, though, Abraham. They just need to be better alive.
Okay.
Don't.
He was alive a second ago, I'm sure.
Right. They are all sponsored by. So what you'll notice is they have a large seal that is from the Temple of Rhonda, which is it's very, again, not the Rhonda that's playing, but the god that is very lawful, and
Temple of
they approve things. But you see other gods, other churches. This is like a theocracy that is a council of churches where Rhonda is the head council. One of those deities you see is a lawful evil deity we're familiar with, and you see that name happen a couple times on some of those bounties, but that is not the only one. It is sponsored by, and it gives the name of the church, approved by the Temple of Rhonda, right? So that's the way all of these sort of read. They're all sponsored
But they
by a
all seem to be
church.
lawful. That seems to be the
Yes, that is the
cohesive force.
Is
Yep.
the deity we recognize the name of the one that they're going to give the lecture about or something?
Apara is a deity they're going to give a lecture about. The Para
Okay.
does have one on there. That's a good deity, though, not
Okay.
an evil one. So
When you say good and evil, are things we know, or these are things that are indicated on the sign?
those are things you know. They're not indicated on the sign.
Okay.
Just you know when it's sponsored by that deity. So
Sure.
these are all definitely temple and church-driven bounties, sponsored
Do
by
we see
a
any
church.
good
and all
paying
approved.
gigs?
There are some good paying gigs, depending on what you. Most of them
Probably
are,
most of the evil ones.
kind of junk, but yeah, you've got it. You've hit the nail on the head, Corn Cob. The best two are sponsored by the Temple of Lael, which is a lawful evil deity, a goddess, and they pay. Both of them are like 500 gold, which is no small
That's
amount.
pretty
And they're
good.
lawful, so they're probably
didn't-
not going to
we
rip
didn't
us
make that.
off.
No, there's a contract
Now-
you have to that has to be upheld, and it's all so even it has to go through the approving temple, which is Rhonda, very contractually obligated. You are absolutely
will-
able to take these.
What's
Is there
the
anything on?
Are
Is there
the
anything on the
targets
board
outside
that
the city?
mentions otter poachers?
So I'll get to the otter poachers in a moment. Pugil, what was your? Pugil,
I
you have
said,
something?
are the targets outside of the city?
No, they're almost all inside the city.
So the targets will be aware that they're wanted.
Yeah, they will be.
Interesting.
And then otter poachers. There is no otter poachers. There are some smaller ones though. As you're looking around at, is there any otter poachers on here? You do see stealing from other licensed like crab baskets and things. So there are some people who are
So
not
these-
putting out
these
their own crab
all
baskets and then just steal other people's.
Unlawful acts that these people are wanted for.
Yes, to varying degrees.
They've transgressed in some way or another.
Yes.
do any of these jobs sound like the one that's going down tonight? Do we recognize anything from the conversation? Is there any?
Good question.
I guess what I'm asking is
That's a good question.
the thing that we're going to go watch, is it one of these jobs? Can we discern that
Make a
from the
flat-
information we have?
Just a flat intelligence check.
Roughing up.
Everybody or just me?
For everybody who's interested in this particular.
I think
So,
that's an excellent thing to think about.
what kind of check was it?
Intelligence.
Oh,
I get a
ugh,
3.
15.
15, 3,
16.
20.
16, 20.
Nine.
Okay. Nine.
20.
It's supposed to not be terrible at that, too.
Okay,
Wow.
so
15 for me.
lower than a 15, you don't see anything that's linked in any way. 15 or higher, there is one particular item. It seems like through a temple, there has been a contract put out to apprehend an encroacher on a particular abalone area. So they're leased out, you could say. Like, this is my area where I go fish abalone or pull it out. And there's a complaint. There's essentially been a complaint issued that someone is encroaching on that. Some of the way it pops up, it sounds to you who've got 15 or higher that it probably has something to do with that conversation you heard. Now that you think of it, there was an abalone merchant involved in that. If you got 20 and higher, I did hear something of a 20 and higher. You
Yep.
think that it is related, and what's actually happening is the person that's wanted has probably hired some people to rough up the person who's made the complaint to pull it back.
That makes sense. A vigilante beating doesn't really follow with the lawfulness of the ecumenical council or the city.
So how much is the contract worth?
So that one in particular that's to turn them in is not much. It's 25 gold. Very low. And up.
It's enough to pay for some more food and some lodging.
It is. It is.
But now we know
I'd
who
rather go
is
for the-
the target. We know who the target is. Let's go warn the target.
We know who the target is now.
I say let's go warn the target.
It's a good idea. Let's do that.
Sure.
All right.
Why not? And let's gather the information on the two $500 jobs.
If they took
the
out a
500
contract
gold piece jobs.
on the guy that put out this contract, we'll be the next ones to have a contract put out on us.
Yes.
We get in the way.
Hopefully.
It just won't be posted on this board.
That's good.
The best kind of contract for adventurers to have against.
Yeah, they don't post them up.
And
Good
that
luck collecting.
so
fools.
on your way to resolve this. That's where we're going to have to take our first break. We're mid game. We're getting into the action now, and so that's where we stop, of course. Thank you for watching. Hang in there. We'll be back with some more of this. It's a big town, and everybody is feeling their way around. See you in 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll continue this adventure. Hello, welcome back.
Hey, we're back.
We're back. You're heading down to the docks. So I set up the docks, but I didn't move your minis down there as you were approaching.
Oh, no.
So it is night. I've lit the night pass. I've told you a few things. You found a message board that had some great information about you could actually pick up some jobs apprehending people in this town and taking them to the.
Wait, weren't we going to warn the person?
But you're
Yeah.
heading down to warn the person. My question is,
we think we know where it's going to take place.
Yeah. And the person's name, let me refer to my notes, is Jin. It's Jin. It's oh my God.
Wow, you're just making it real easy on us.
I've done this twice now.
It's okay. It's okay. The guy whose ass is going to get beat is probably Bobby, right?
What?
So you are, he is a crabber that's that's all you know. He's a businessman, crabber that works out of Venn and has formally posted a complaint for his crab baskets being poached, basically.
Now that it's night, do they light the streets here in this city?
In some areas they do. So around the mudworm itself, so just as you look around, it's a large city, but you can see the areas that you've been. You've kind of gone down through the area where the Redwood Foundation was. You saw that it was a very large sort of compound, well lit, finer side of town, rockier. There are actually some trees, and they do light some coal lanterns in that area, or coal braziers in that area. Around the mudworm, there's a lot of torches lit up. It is sort of a jovial place, but there are a lot of jovial place where people want to blow off steam at the end of a day. In the docks, there are occasional lights, but it looks to you like they tend to keep them off of the dock portions. And in the buildings, they do have some lantern bearers that will go and set up if they're unloading ships. They don't appear to be doing any unloading as you approach.
Are there lanterns burning on the ships as if people are sleeping in their ships, in their boats?
The side that you're going on has some very small, it looks like what would be traditionally long ships, right? The larger ships are out in the harbor a little bit, and these smaller ones are rowed in with goods and unloaded. So there is a lantern. In those cases, it would just be a lantern bearer, so there's nothing on the ship. But you can see off out into the harbor a ways ships with lanterns on them. But this is
that are moored.
This is the harbor that you are approaching at night, and what you're dealing with at the docks. I'm just going to put you approaching sort of in the middle. You can decide how you want to do that.
We need a lantern.
I would assume we're going to hide, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we're trying to be subtle right now.
We're going to blend in the shadows.
That's right.
You were going to, well, I don't know. Were you going to get there early and talk to Jen first, or were you going to just wait to see? Okay, yeah.
Yes.
All right,
We're not blending in yet.
You find
Or
Jen.
do we want to wait till the beating starts and then pull him out and then get the reward?
Let's
I'm
talk to
going to
Jen.
switch to my nighttime cloak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You've switched to your nighttime cloak and item. I'm sorry. I'm also running the wrong kind of music for this. Hold on a second.
I've got my rings and my pants on just in case.
The otter pants are amazing.
I got my pants. Hey, Frank.
Yes.
I got my pants on too.
Okay.
Okay.
A gooseneck is the
Can we
only one that
establish
Donald.
that we are all wearing pants?
I don't know, gooseneck. Are you wearing pants or Donald ducking it?
He's Donald ducking it.
He's Donald ducking it. He's
got a little brocade vest on.
It retracts back in. So.
Yeah. Wow.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
You're making me shake the cat.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so you're kind of stealthily coming up to this then in that case. For now, you can make yourself as known as you want to be. You don't see those two gentlemen yet, but you know that they were planning on striking just after just before the midnight hour, basically, after the 11th bell. The docks are here. Jen is somewhere on them. You got an idea of which area he should be in, but that's really all you know. Not much more.
I assume they're less crowded.
They're not crowded at all right now. It's night,
Okay.
and
So it should be pretty. We should be able to see people on there.
yeah, most people would just be, if they're down here, they would doing last minute inventory checks and going over maybe numbers and money and something like that.
Maybe one of us can inconspicuously ask where Jen is. They've seen Jen.
Okay. Yeah. there's no
Not
problem.
me, but one of the others.
An inconspicuous person?
Yes.
I'll hail the nearest person. I'm all right.
Sure. Someone comes along around the side, stops. Yes. Yes.
Hey, we're looking for someone named Jen.
Yes, right around. He's just pulling in the last of his baskets, doing a count. Then he's going home. You'll miss him if you wait too long.
Any inkling of how the crabbing was today?
It was a good day, for me at least. It seems he's happy as well. It seems a
Very good.
good day out there.
Much better to approach him when he's happy, I imagine.
Oh, as it is with all people. Matter of fact, maybe I'll have a drink before I turn in. I'm going to go to the Mudworm. And he just sort of heads off. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You too.
Mm.
Disappears out of there. So he pointed to the other side of this building as where Jen
Okay.
would be.
Well, let's head
Let's
over
head over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All of you?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Or unless
Yeah, I know.
Abron we want to do our normal marching order.
I'm going to go. Oh, sure. Let's do that for now. If you don't want that, let me know. Corncob, Abran, Pugh, Joel, and Fathom, and then Gooseneck and Kay. They're kind of rough. Or Kay and Gooseneck.
Probably already scared off the ruffians.
So
Or we
you-
could have talked to the guy who put out the contract.
Well, this would be the guy with. Oh, if you mean the official through the temple contract, Jen would be the person. So as you come around, he looks up. He looks very wary at first. He kind of goes. You can see his hand sort of hover over where he's probably got a dagger or something underneath his cloak as a group of people approach in the night.
Hey, are you Jen?
I am.
We heard that you were looking for somebody to do a job for you.
No.
The bounty,
He's got-
yes. The contract. I have made a request to apprehend the poachers. Yes. That's usually handled through the temples, but I'm
Yes.
happy to
Well,
speak
we
with
saw
you on
that.
it.
We had an idea that that's what was going on.
Absolutely, it's been and I know you're sincere in this, so he's gonna insight. It's been horrible. I have people to pay, and I can't afford to pay them some days. The baskets are empty when clearly they shouldn't be. The bait is gone, and
So
sometimes
someone's
the
pulling up your
baskets
baskets out in the water
yes. I
before
can't
you can
monitor
get to
them
them.
all the time. Yes.
Do you have an idea who it might be?
I do have some ideas. Unfortunately, without hard evidence, it would be unfounded and dangerous to sick the temples on them, if you know what I mean. So,
Well, certainly you don't want to get the wrong person in trouble.
yes, that would be a shame. So,
Especially not here in Van.
you seem a wise person, indeed.
I do. I've got a very high wise stat.
So you've come
Why is
to.
that?
I'm confused. Isn't Jen the guy that had the contract on him? I thought we were going to warn him.
He has an
Yes.
unofficial contract on him. He put out an official contract, and the people who don't like
I didn't
that
want to tell him about the
put an unofficial
contract on him yet.
contract on him.
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
So he
This
put up
is the
a
guy
little contract for 25 gold on the
Right.
board.
Why don't you want to tell him?
Okay.
What's your game?
Well, I wasn't going to do it quite yet, but go ahead.
no. Why? What would be the motive not to?
I wanted to find out as much as I could beforehand.
He's a detective.
Gotcha.
But Perry Mason or something. I saw that.
okay, Colum Corn Cob.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, go ahead, Mr. Lizard Man. Why don't you
Corn Galumbo.
jump
Corn
in here and
Lumbo.
do your own grilling?
Corn
It's a
Lumbo.
cat. Corn Lumbo.
Look,
So-
we overheard two guys at the Mudworm who are going to try and rough you up for putting out that contract. We thought we would warn you.
I should have expected such a move.
So we assume there's a reverse contract that they've undertaken if they're not the ones that actually are doing the
Now that
deed
you
to your
mention
crabs.
It makes so much sense now.
I think
makes
maybe
sense.
it's time to let us. I
What-
think
why
it's
does it
time
make
to let
sense
us
now?
know who you think these people are. We'll keep it
I have an
quiet.
idea. Let's
Let's
let
all
it go
dress
down.
up as Jen, and it'll be confusing when they come to beat us up. There'll be like
Let's
9
tell
of them,
Jen
and one will be a
we're gonna
lizard
let-
man.
We're gonna let it go down, and then we'll spring on him like Scooby Doo they're about to pounce on him. And then
Yeah,
we'll
I think
shake him
that's a
down
great
for
idea.
information. But we'll all be
Yeah,
dressed
see-
like Jen, like you said.
Yeah,
I like that
'cause
idea.
they'll think that the lizard man was Jen and that he could turn into a lizard, and they'll never bother him again. Totally bloodless.
Yes. Or we all could hide, and Gooseneck could wear Jen's clothes and stand where Jen was going to stand.
Do you
That's
think
right.
you could
Or we could
find
just-
out
Or
who have
or-
asked them to do this to me?
Well, we heard 2 people talking as if they were the 2 that were going to jump you.
Yes,
I
but
think the
who?
only way we're going to find out who put them onto you is frankly by beating it out of them.
Yes, I fully agree with that.
I could turn a blind eye to such a thing.
You could, or we could drag them under the pier on a rope until they talked, if you'd prefer.
I have business in my building here, counting numbers. If you
Sure you do. You better get in there.
Yes, I'll be late.
Now that's your building. Does it have a good solid lock on it?
It's got a bar lock.
Can we accompany, or at least some of us accompany you into the building and check it out before you lock yourself in?
Of course. Yes. Do you think they're already there? Any interest?
I have no idea.
Okay,
I just
let's
think we're dealing
explore.
with dastards, and dastards are unpredictable.
So
Bastards.
those that go in make an investigation check to see if they're already there, or there's some sort of.
I'll go in.
I'll go in.
Some dastardness.
Okay.
So,
Investigate for
Stay outside and
dastardness.
keep watch.
I'm
13.
outside. It's nice outside.
Get a 13 before.
how many entrances to the building are there?
There's really only one. They don't care about fire codes here.
Only got 12.
12. Okay, so 12 and 13, both of those, you don't feel like there's any sign of them laying in wait. You see them Your adventurers, you're pretty confident about this. They're not in the rafters. They're not hidden. There's no desks for them to be under, barrels for them to be in, crates that are not nailed shut. Doesn't look like they're in here.
Only we had someone that could impersonate him with some sort of a spell.
Oh, there you go. How about that?
Yeah.
The cunning gnome can cast disguise self. And as long as
There
I'm
we go.
seated, they shouldn't be able to tell that I'm a foot shorter. Because
All
I
right.
can make
Would you
myself
like-
appear
So
to be
wait,
taller.
wait.
Just act like you're
Sure.
mending a pot, a crab pot.
How
Yeah.
much? How much are we going to be paid for helping this guy out? That's what I want to know.
His shop.
Anybody want to ask him? Should I
Probably
ask
get
him?
paid in crab.
I like crab.
Or maybe he could make a pair of crab pants for Abram.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't think I want crab pants.
I don't think.
A claw
You know
piece
what?
instead of a crab piece.
Yeah.
I think probably building a good rapport. I'm not too worried about a reward, but if you
Yeah.
want to ask him, you can.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not
I'm
in it
just-
for the money.
Okay. All right. Cool. Just checking.
No.
First one's
And
for
this
free,
will-
Gene.
So you know
First
you
one's
already
always free.
you're already confident this will go through the temple's contract. So 25 gold at least. Pugil.
Okay.
Okay.
This should give us an in to some unlawful underworld figure's name, which may be very useful to us.
Yes, indeed.
That too.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
I'm just here
Proceed.
to get involved on
So-
our helpful.
So I would say if you want to sit out by the boat, the only way they're going to get to you is by going down that dock.
Yeah. I can go sit on that barrel.
Unless they come up from the
I'll cast
water,
disguise self.
and that's when I use my otter pants.
And
Yeah, I'd be concerned that the crab pants might be a little itchy.
Pugil, I'm going to use this miniature for you now because you're disguised as Jen. So that's going to be you for
Come
the
on,
moment.
nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
I'll tell the real Jen to lock
I
himself
got it,
in.
Michael.
You don't need to
Okay,
watch
thank you.
the sausage being made, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. I'll leave the work to the professionals.
That's right.
Sausage.
Man, how quickly we've fallen into this now. Now we're just
We
thugs
should-
in footpads.
Hide
Yeah,
a little bit.
You
shouldn't we?
guys wanted to do this.
I know. I want to
Yeah,
get
right.
on the boat.
You want to roll
Well,
some
we're trying
dice?
to get on a boat, but the boat's not here.
No, yeah. it's
Yeah, we
just
got
little-
2 weeks of enforcer action.
Yep.
We only
yep.
need one of them alive. You know, realize that, right?
Well, we need one to scream until the other one talks.
Okay.
I agree with
Okay,
Marissa.
do
Jason
you
is
think you
scary.
could get on the roof, and do you think you could help me onto the roof? There's a lot of us. We need to hide better.
Yeah,
I can help
I
her
think
up on
you
the
should
roof.
get up on the roof.
on the roof.
For sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna stealth.
Okay.
I'm gonna stealth hide.
Oh, he's going to hear your little hoofs clicking on the roof, just like Santa's reindeer.
Make. So for those that are stealthing, make a stealth check. I am confident that you can all help each other onto the roof, so I'm simply going to get the proper tools to put you on. The
I'm
roof.
not going to be on the roof. I'm going to just kind of try to hide in the shadows between those
Do we
two
need
buildings.
to stealth on the roof? I mean, I can. Well, stealth.
You
don't
do need
completely
the stealth on
work
the roof. However,
All right.
please feel free to do it at advantage. People often don't look up unless they're trained professionals.
Can I?
Wow, I rolled the same thing on both dice. That's pretty wild.
I'm going
It's
to get a
22.
flask out and lean against the building like maybe I've had a little too much to drink.
Okay. I'm looking for the roof pieces that I have. And I might-
Threw a wrench in the plans.
I have performance. I have deception. I have lots of skills in this. For whatever reason, for a nature cleric, I don't have much in
Rhonda,
nature, but I'm really
I
good
rolled
at
the same two things as well.
Well, that must be the wonders that are the Pizza Dungeon dice.
It's a dungeon
there.
dice.
Pizza Dungeon dice. Here's your chance.
They're consistent.
Everybody watching, Reaper miniatures. Get some of your Pizza Dungeon dice. They are actually really cool dice, and they roll in my favor all the time.
I know, unfortunately.
Okay, we're gonna put some of you on the roof. I don't have the roof.
My rolls should not be held against the dice. They happen with all dice.
So, who is helping Fathom on the roof?
I'll help Fathom on the roof.
Okay.
And I'm going up too.
You're going up too? Okay, so Fathom, Gooseneck on the roof. Kay, where would you like to hide? If you're going to hide.
Roof, please.
Roof, okay. And I'm looking for... I'm suddenly missing a lot of tools.
Yes.
You want to hang out here and be drunk with me?
Sure, I'll hang out and be drunk with you.
Okay, Abram and Corncob drunk on the
think
docks.
if there's two of them, there should be two of us at least that can run out there.
Right.
I mean, there's a gnome, but
You can't
Just
leave
let
the
me know
gnome
which one to
defenseless.
stab.
he's busy mending crab pots.
Yeah. We'll let him kind of rough him up a little bit before we go in.
Well,
I mean, we got to
there's
sell
some
it.
benefits to this job.
We got to sell it.
I don't think we should kill him though.
Oh no! I was going to let them rough up
Right.
this
No, I
Jen
get it.
character. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. And then.
I'm
We'll
not sure I'm
step
going to do that, but I mean.
Okay.
Let me know, Anne, if you see any of these minis start to...
If they're not going to rough him up and they accidentally slip and, gnome's squishy.
Darth Daddio said Pizza Dungeon dice are cursed. If you have cursed dice, just buy another set.
That's right.
Yes, but also...
Every third set is cursed.
Donate
every
those
third set. So you have to buy at least like 6 sets and then mix them together, and you should have diluted
you want to get all
curse.
the high rollers. So you got to get at least 6.
So that's where I went wrong, because I only got 4 sets, so somehow I blew the odds.
You don't have all the high rollers.
I only have 3 sets.
Right.
I don't.
So
And I'm not sure
if
the
you get
dice are cursed in your case.
If you get the giant loot box with Bobby's pirate dice, that should take care of it all, shouldn't it?
That guy's
does that come with a set of giant dice?
The mega bundle?
Just the one giant.
dice
Is it the
do.
mega bundle?
That's a huge...
Mega
Just the
bundle
one that
has
comes
everything.
with the giant pirate dice.
Hobby
It should
box.
come with a
Hobby box.
giant
Hobby
set of
box.
regular dragon dice or Pizza Dungeon dice.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
Anyway,
Good job on the roof.
Yeah, those are
Fathom-
the 3 up on the roof.
How often does Fathom
don't
have to
burn
roll to
yourself on
stand?
that smoke.
Hey, I can tie myself to the chimney if I need to.
Gooseneck helped her up, so it's perfectly fine. And it's not in a
Okay.
stressful situation. You're all great adventurers. It's when it becomes stressful she has to roll.
Okay.
Did you want our rolls for stealth?
I do want
Did you
rolls
say
for
we
stealth,
had advantage?
though. Those on the roof have advantage, yes.
I rolled 22.
Ooh, wow.
And
On both
I
dice.
rolled a 20.
Wow. Ah.
Yeah, the one time I roll well. It's to not be noticed.
And that's a 20 Gooseneck. And what was that for Kay? What was yours?
22.
22. Wow, okay. And
Wow,
then
you're
I would
stealthy.
All the high rollers are up on the roof.
the 3 down below, I need performance checks because 2 of you are pretending to be drunk and 1 of you is pretending to be a different person.
16.
Okay. Abran, 16 performance. Corncob? Wait, I didn't hear that. Are you muted? What happened?
I am sorry.
Oh,
I have a 13 in performance, unless you want me to do deception.
13 is perfect. And
Oh no!
Oh!
I was just pretending to be drunk.
Gooseneck rolled a
Looks
1.
like Lagarto's tied one on already.
so Gooseneck
Hey, I'm
is,
just cliff diving.
Gooseneck is the most metal of the minis. Very
That's
heavy.
right.
I thought that
And
might happen. I'm gonna
all
goop.
good.
I'm gonna really goop this up the same
It's
way
all
that
good.
Hey,
El Lagarto dives
Earthquake,
again.
buddy.
the magic of blue tech.
Hugh Joel.
27.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Performer.
That's a
Performance of his
performer right
life.
there.
You are.
Mhm.
All right. Pugil is
Professional liar.
clearly
I
Jen.
would.
Jill's going very method.
Yeah.
You're, you're getting in, counting the crabs, moving them.
I'm feeling my inner Jin. Jin's mother would be deceived by this performance.
Probably,
Mhm.
actually.
This is
So
mine.
around the top, because of your locations, which were randomized, Kay and Fathom, roll perception checks. You all hear some voices coming around the corner. They're not as silent as they'd like to be, but Kay and Fathom, you can pick up some dialogue maybe.
Let him get out on the dock first.
15.
Okay, 15. Okay.
Is this one of those cases where our passive will override if we roll below it?
Yes, definitely.
22.
22.
1
okay.
million.
1 million.
1 million.
So
The hell of a dice.
you hear they're actually, both of you hear that they're talking about an item that they were given, and but the other one kind of no. Kay, you hear just a little bit more in that. You hear that there is a stone that they know the magic word for that will help them in this if things get too hairy for them. But one of them wants to use it like right off the bat, and the other one says, no, we'll wait for it. No, we don't need this. We can do this ourselves. It's dangerous.
I'm a dwarf in otter pants. It doesn't get any more hairy than that.
It doesn't get any more svelte than that.
Pretty sleek.
So you know that
Very
there's,
slim.
yeah, they're holding on to something. Okay, and they come around the corner.
What do we know about objects that need like a magic word like that?
Almost all magic devices need some sort of magic word to turn them on or control them. So it could be a wand, it could be some sort of magical stone or ring. Even the rings, for example, most of them are not always on. They need a word to activate. So there's something they've been given that will allow them. They're a little bit shady over it. They're just talking, and they're both clearly afraid of it too. Both of you pick up on that. They're afraid of. They don't know what this device is. They just know it's magical, and it will help them.
I'm going to message down to who's being drunk? Corncob and
Abram.
Abran.
So I'll message down to Corncob and then also to Ujo, so he knows that they have some kind of magic item.
Okay.
I guess I can do it to all of them,
good.
but it's continuing like a few minutes to hit everybody because I have to do them one at a time, I believe.
Yeah, 6 seconds per as you go through.
Well,
It's
I don't
few
know
rounds.
that changes our plan.
So they
It's
come
just so
by.
you guys know.
Do we
They
have a
look
Might
plan?
change our compensation.
They look around. They see you drunken people on the dock. They look at you for a moment, and then they look out at
I'm going to
Jen.
have my eyes half closed. I mean, I'm out of it. I'm dead to the world.
Here. They look out at Jen. How drunk are you guys trying to be, by the way?
I'm on my lips.
Okay. Abran?
I'm not loud though. I'm
He's
incapacitated
falling
is what I'm
over.
trying
I'm
to be.
trying to keep him sitting up, so it looks like I'm not
Yeah.
paying attention to anything besides trying to keep him from falling over and into
Okay.
the water.
I might actually make a few retching noises.
Oh, beautiful. Chum the waters, Corncob. Okay. So they look over you for a moment, and they just clearly don't think much about it after that. And they head out towards Pugil/Jin at the end of the docks. They take a very sort of.
Okay,
Go ahead.
when they get about halfway down, they're just kind of sauntering down the docks.
Yeah, definitely.
When they get about halfway to me, I'm going to climb down into the boat and act as if I just noticed them and call and say, oh, are you here about the cartage? We don't have an accurate weight yet.
Ooh. Make a deception check.
15 plus 4, 19.
Ooh. So just your passive perception is you can see the one with his arms crossed there. He just sort of elbows the guy next to him. This is going to be easier than we thought. No.
I'm going to, if they get halfway down that or even closer, I'm going to move to the edge of the deck.
Okay. Halfway, you move to the edge, retching over the side. Abram's holding your hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm caressing.
Not the
It's
hair
okay.
on my pants. He's just getting my
It's
beard
okay.
out of
It's
the
all
way.
on the hair.
And when they get to that barrel,
clarification, Otter Pants is still on.
Yes.
when they get to that barrel, I'm going to bend down to where they can't see me.
Okay. Yeah, so they get to the barrel. Yeah, you see them. They get to the barrel. They begin to look in. They look like they look very confident. So you kind of
I'll
bend
stumble
down.
over onto the onto the edge of the pier.
And as soon as they no longer have a line of sight to me, I'm going to turn invisible.
Ooh. All right, everyone, roll initiative. Let's.
Are you so happy, Michael? Are you just the most happy? It's happening.
I couldn't roll fast enough.
Oh, man.
15.
Okay.
Let's see. We're gonna use.
I've been rolling so well.
Like this one. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna call these out because I'll miss individual numbers here. Fathom, what was your initiative?
2. That would be an
Gooseneck.
actual 1 plus 1. So 2.
That counts.
Because I don't think the
makes
luck
me
still
feel better.
applies to initiative. That's not ability check.
Gooseneck.
I got a 4.
All right. K.
All right, hang out with
9.
me, Gooseneck.
9.
Yeah.
Abran.
11.
Corncob.
15.
Hugel.
9.
Wow, there's some low
Oh,
rolls.
crap.
What did these guys get?
I get to decide first.
Okay.
I was hoping someone else would go first.
Corncob.
I'm going to yield my roll to Abram.
You are you are okay. You can yield your roll to Abran.
No, I'm just kidding.
You're the first to notice that Pugel's gone down, poofed out, sort of gone invisible, and you can see that these guys are about to hop over. They got their fists out, ready to rough
I'll
up.
stumble
Jim.
closer.
Okay, so you're just moving closer at this point?
Yep, but I'm not walking a straight line. I'm still kind of tottering.
Okay.
I'm right there too. I'm right on him as well.
Okay, you are next, Abrams.
Or I will be. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're next in this, so you're also moving on them. Moving with Corncob.
I'm going to move a little to his left if we can wait to do that. But so
no,
I'm
I
on
think
the
that
other
makes
guy.
sense. We're going to try to occupy any escape route
Yep.
other than the water.
Yep. Okay. K. You're next. You see this going down from the roof.
I'm going to aim an arrow at the dock near those guys' feet. I don't necessarily want to try to murder them. I just want to be ready to encourage them to head a particular direction.
Oh, okay.
Or not.
Okay. You, Joel.
I am going to lay up against the side of the boat very still and quiet so that they'll wonder what the heck happened to me.
Side closest to them or farthest from them?
Close to them. Well, I don't want to get stepped on. So we're, in a way that they're not going to step on me.
Okay.
But I don't want to make noise either, so.
Got it. Okay. So they jump on to the boat, fists sort of out and ready. They are clearly just fists and feet, so they're maybe going to do some kicking as well as they hop on. Both onto the boat. They both
kickers.
Look around because they don't see Jen anymore. Where'd he go? Did you see him? No, I didn't see him.
At this point, we should just light the boat on fire and push it out.
I mean, Pugel's on the boat.
Pugel's on the boat.
Pugel's still on the boat.
I'm not
can't
sure
see
he didn't
him.
know that.
I thought he left.
I think it's a good plan.
I figured
just
he
wanna
got and
make sure.
ran.
Yeah.
He's
Gooseneck.
hiding behind us somewhere.
He jumped over the side.
Wow. You're talking like an elf, Corncob.
Gooseneck, it's your turn.
I'm going to jump down from the roof and head up the pier.
Make an athletics check to see if this jump's going to cost you much movement or hurt you at all.
7.
Off the top rope.
Yeah, not super great in that
Didn't
case.
stick the landing.
You know, there's you haven't been in a sea environment like this. It's unusually the way these tiles have been
It's
weathered.
my duck pants.
Yeah, you've slid down, breaking some tiles off. So you've used all of your movement just to get down to the bottom of this
That's
thing.
okay.
It's
You should have
raining lizards.
leapt off backwards.
I should have, yeah. I should have done a reverse skydive.
Yeah. You could have grabbed Fathom and just dived backwards.
But you are down, and you can have
With
a weapon
7,
drawn if
that
you
might have
want.
been.
Yes,
Crippling.
I got my axe drawn.
Okay. Fathom.
I'm gonna kind of do what Kay's doing. I'll have an Eldritch Blast ready to roll, but I'm not gonna loose it just yet. See what the ground crew rustles
Okay.
up first.
Corncob, it's your turn. The gentlemen, if you want to call them that, who are on the boat have reared back their feet as though to kick something that's not there, and so they both look confused. It hasn't turned to anything except for confusion yet. Your turn.
How close
May I
are they?
ask a question?
Pugil?
I would like when Fathom messaged us that they were talking about some sort of magic something or other.
Uh-huh.
Did we get any impression which one of them wanted to use it and which one didn't?
I don't think she would have conveyed that. And
Okay.
It's only 25 words.
Okay. Sorry to
yeah.
interrupt.
Corncob, you... What was it?
How close are we?
So you're 10 feet away from them and the edge of the boat, basically.
Can I get to the boat and strike a blow?
Yes, you could.
And that's what I'm going to do.
Ooh, going right for it. I love it. You're going to steal all the thunder from Abran. Ah.
I'll pick the guy in the yellow,
Okay.
the red hair. Okay, with a 17.
17 hits, yes.
All right.
Subdual damage, how does that work?
So,
Yeah.
let's go over that just really brief. Magic, you cannot subdue. I'm sorry for all of the magic damaging people.
I'm
It's
not
always
using
going to be
magic.
killing damage. Subdual is any melee damage. You don't have to tell me you're trying to do subdual. After I tell you you've hit and you tell me the damage, you can say that was subdual damage or that was not to kill, and I will turn it into not to kill damage. You don't have to tell me in advance. But you can only do it with melee weapons. And if you have magic weapons, I'm sorry, you're going to kill them.
Okay, well, I quarterstaff him with 9,
Okay.
and I'm trying to subdue him.
9 to hit. Sorry, 9 points damage.
No, I got
Okay.
17 to hit.
You hit, he just, ow, what the, hey! And he turns up and he pulls a rapier out from his
And
belt.
I'm in the boat with him.
Yeah, okay. I'll put you in the boat with him. Let me create a little space for you to get in there. There you go. Red-haired gentleman, you have just hit. You have injured. He is not down. Abran, your turn.
You're surrounded by the police.
I jump in the boat. I have my sword drawn, but I'm going to kick him, trying to kick him off the boat.
Okay.
I'm gonna Sparta him.
At this point, so you hop in, you get in the boat, you try to kick him off the boat.
Yeah.
You all realize that there are 5 people in a fairly small boat rocking it about. Combat is now taking place, and you try to kick them. Make a dexterity saving throw before you do this attack roll.
All right, dexterity. So, okay.
Get out of the boat. Get out of the boat, man.
I think Jason's going to get a
That's
chance
a
to
20.
use his magic
That's a
rings.
22 because I just take my dexterity modifier, right?
I do not
just
fear
your
the
dexterity
water.
modifier. That's beautiful. It rocks, but you are like just the perfect balance on top of it. The
He's like
steady,
water.
the steady cam Abran. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
He flow like water.
So I've never done a kick before.
Unarmed.
So-
It's an unarmed attack.
Okay, so I get damage equal to 1 plus the strength modifier if I hit.
Yes.
And so nat 20 on my
Okay.
kick.
So
So
it's 2 damage plus your strength modifier.
so 5.
Okay.
My strength modifier is plus 3, so I did 5 points of damage.
He was actually already hit. Did you want to use Colossus Slayer? Isn't that an option? Is that an option?
Yeah, so let's do that too. I think that'd be great. That's 1d8 of damage.
Okay.
Let's do that. That's just 2 more points. It's not that bad.
Won't that-
I'm just kicking him.
So you kick him a Sparta-like kick. He is gonna make a save.
He launches. In the air
he gets
and
a
off
2.
the boat.
Yes, he does
He's
launch
off
in
the
the air,
boat.
falling backwards, screaming, push, into the water behind it.
There's 4 people on the boat.
Yeah, 1 less person on the boat. It's less rocky. Okay. Indeed. So you.
That was worth it.
Time
That
for
was
some
fun.
bow fishing.
He kicks. It didn't
Sploosh.
take long before he just sort of hopped off, accidentally, kicked off. That's really what happened. Ploosh into the boat. His friend sort of turns around, wide eyes, looks, and sees you and Corncob. I mean, he noticed shapes before, but now recognizes you're alert, you're attacking, you're on the ship. But that's all he gets to do at this exact moment.
And
Kay,
I got
it's your
I
turn.
get 2 attacks.
Oh, you do
With
get
my
2 attacks.
second attack, not necessarily going to attack, but the other guy on Gooseneck has pulled his rapier. My sword is out, and I point my sword at him,
Okay.
pointing it and focusing my attention on him as he's looking at me jumping on the boat, kicking him off.
Okay.
So he knows that 2 are on 1 now.
Right. Okay.
Is there a mechanism by which he could slap his sword with his sword on purpose?
I mean, there's some disarm. Not really. It's not really a
Okay.
skill that you have, probably that he has.
And Pujol's invisibility is ruined by his alarm clock.
Okay. So, all right, you've leveled out your sword. Make an intimidation check, Abran.
I gotta get back to that screen. Sorry. Nat 20.
Wow. He is.
I'm wasting
Terrible.
20s. I'm just wasting
He
20s.
is terrified. Terrified. Clearly. He's in a tight spot. He's in a bind. Kay, it's your turn.
Can I do double terrifying damage with the nat 20?
The ground crew seems to have things pretty well in hand, so I'm just gonna stay up here and keep a watch on it and hold my action.
Okay. Okay.
Did they see the one go in the water?
Yeah, it was evident, and there was a sound associated with it.
Bloosh.
Pugil, it's your turn. Invisible you feel the rocking. You have clearly seen that. Well, you've probably seen that Abraham has kicked one of them over the side. The other one is threatened by
Glorious.
Abraham's blade.
That was a highlight.
Can I crawl backwards into the bow of the boat and pull my harp out?
Yeah, you could. Absolutely. You're still this person, but yes.
Yeah, and but if I can I still cast a spell? Is that my action?
Absolutely. It just looks like Jin is the one doing this stuff. I guess that's all I'm really saying.
Okay. Then Jin goes, a 4-foot tall Jin says, Sim Salabim, I'm going to cast Levitate and just levitate that guy up in the air.
Ooh, okay, I get a saving throw. My throw is 9. I don't think that's going to do it. Whoosh. He's now floating into the air.
We need to get him to be quiet. We need to tie a gag around him.
Well,
Up into the air, levitating he goes.
Splash him into the water.
So if we secure the water boy, this guy's not going anywhere for 10 minutes. And Kay can pin cushion him if he makes trouble.
That's all true. Okay.
Secure water boy.
So it's water boy's turn. He reaches into his vest. He whispers something onto something that he pulls out of his vest. And suddenly the water next to you all begins to bubble and sort of come up. Where the person sort of plunked into the water bursts up out of the next to the boat. The whole thing rocks. Everybody on the boat make dexterity saving throws as this massive figure of water flushes out and almost upturns the boat.
Where's
Abran had a 14.
14 dex saving throw.
I have a
All right.
13.
13. Okay. Pugil?
13.
Oh, wait, I had a 17. I looked at the wrong column. Sorry.
Okay. Even better.
Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. I was looking at my... Yeah. It's the saving throw bonuses, not the...
Yeah, dexterity saving throw.
Okay, it's a 16.
Okay. It's under a 16. If you are under 16, you are prone as this boat rocks when this water comes up. I think that's only Corncob, right? You did not get a 16?
I didn't.
Okay. So Corncob is prone. The levitating guy doesn't have to worry about it. He's in the air.
You kind of helped him out.
Well, now we know which one has a stupid stone.
Yeah. It was a 50-50 kick shot.
It was. People who know me know it would have been this crossed-arm judgy farmer guy. But this water comes out, starts sort of... we're going to roll initiative on him to find out where he comes out in this roll for stuff. Not his turn yet, however. But he is massive. He is frightening. It is. And it is rocking this boat and this whole shore. It is also Gooseneck's turn.
Okay. I am going to set down my axe. And can I see Waterboy? Is he still in the water? Is he...
Yes, he's trying to swim away, the one that was kicked over to the side.
Okay.
But he's mostly
I'm gonna
just
dive
swimming for
in.
his life. Okay, you're
I'm gonna
done
dive
diving.
in and start, and I've got my swimming speed is 40 feet.
Oh, you have no problem getting. The only problem you're going to have is this water elemental
Can I
is
can
in
I
the way.
swim? Which way is he? Which way is the guy swimming?
So he's on this side. He's on the far
Can
side.
I
to
swim
you.
under the boat?
Yeah,
Kind of
Under the dock?
diagonally towards.
absolutely.
Yeah, or under the dock, try to get to him.
Yep, under the
And
boat.
I can breathe underwater, so
Yeah, you don't have a problem. What would you like to do when you get to him?
well, I want to grab him and start trying to find the magic item. I'd like to pull him under and start searching him.
So this one is not
Keep
the
him
one with the
under.
magic item. The one levitating in the air.
Oh,
is
it's the one levitating.
Oh, I thought
Okay.
it was
Oh.
I had that wrong too.
Oh, I thought it was the guy in the water. Sorry.
No, the one levitating is the one that sort of pulled into his vest
Okay,
and
well-
whispered something.
I'll still grab him and start swimming back to the dock.
Ooh, make an
My plan.
athletics check. This is a contested grapple check, basically, because he's
Okay.
trying to
Grapple.
Well, assuming he
Jump
can
on
swim,
him.
he might be happy for the help.
12 plus 6, 18.
Okay, you've
Nice,
got a
good job.
firm grip on him. He's not able to fight you back. You're able to swim with him. You've used almost all of your swim to get there, though, so
That's fine.
not
That's
on this
fine.
turn. Okay.
Chomp him.
Grab.
Give him a good chomp.
Give him a little bite.
Fathom, it's your
give him a
turn.
little-
Kay, though, you were holding an action as well to shoot if something went, or to do. I think it was if something went off here. So before we get to Fathom, what would you like to do with this?
I would like to release my arrow at the elemental.
Okay. Make your attack roll.
I got a 22.
That
Boom.
hits.
Blow it up.
For 6 points of damage.
Sploosh.
Okay.
Into the water. Get it?
It's a piercing attack.
Um.
6 points of damage. Okay. All right. All right. Fathom, what are you going to do?
I kind of had a question about how something works. So I have the wind fan,
Yes.
cast gusts of wind.
Yes.
It sounds like it goes out straight in front of me.
Yes.
So if I did it from where I am, it would just hit the levitating guy and the water elemental. It wouldn't hit the boat people, right?
Yeah, I think you could keep it off the ground a certain amount. Yeah.
Then I'm going to
Do
do
it.
that.
Do that.
I'm going to take the fan. So it says a strong gust of wind, 60 feet long and 10 feet wide, blast from you in the direction that I choose. Each creature that starts his turn in the line must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 15 feet away from you in a direction following the line, which is, straight ahead of me. It does a bunch of things that don't matter right now. As a bonus action on each of your turns before the spell ends, you can change the direction, and the spell lasts for up to a minute.
Okay. Absolutely.
At least if you cast it. I don't know if it works differently.
Yeah, it's
as a
the
fan.
same. It's the same in this case. Yep. Okay. Then, I think the only thing happens here is I get to save with both of these people. Is a strength save or a dex save?
Strength 13.
That's a cool water elemental.
The levitating person does not do well at all. The elemental doesn't do super well either, surprisingly. So you push them back 15 feet. Wow.
Let's give the missile people a
Oh, I
chance
got
to
plenty of range.
missile it up.
Get out of here.
Wow.
I mean, this just
He
happens to be the
stays-
perfect setup to not affect any of you guys and only hit the annoying
Yeah.
people.
So is the levitating guy kind of rotate in the air, or does he stay straight up?
Yeah,
Does
so
he go, whoa! Oh,
yeah, he spins around. He's
okay, cool.
Pincushion that
all
guy.
kinds.
That's a better visual.
He's
Yeah.
flailing his arms and feet around, trying to grab or
Yep.
pull anything or swim, but nothing's working. He's just moving
No.
around.
Will he
Now
move
it's just
another
clay
15
pigeon
feet next
shooting.
round?
Skeet shooting.
Only,
I think if they fail their save, Yeah, it
'Cause
does say, well,
It's
so if
for-
it starts its turn in the line, unless they move to the side of where it is,
Yeah, I
and I
think you
can shift
need
it a little.
that bonus if you use the bonus action to enact it, then he will move again unless he saves, and he will keep going in that line.
I just want to keep him far enough away for our missile people to
For our boaters, get out of the boat.
Oh.
get out. This maybe don't fight in the boat.
Corn Cob,
Yeah.
it's your turn. You are prone in the boat, but that doesn't seem to be too much of a problem now.
Can I still see that water elemental?
Yeah, you can see them both. They're high. The water elemental's towering above you, even though it goes down to the water, and the other person's
I
levitating.
roll a
above.
19 to hit with a third level guiding bolt.
Ooh.
Splat.
Yeah, he's better that
Oh,
way.
he was prone from the shaking of the boat.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he just pokes his hand over the gunnel and fires one off.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of area. To aim
34
for.
points.
Holy
Okay.
moly!
Bam.
That is a big guiding boat. Very nice.
Well, it's 46 plus 1d6 for each level above first. So
Yep.
each
And is that at the levitating
Slot
guy or
above
at the
first.
element?
That's the elemental, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, elemental. I'm not worried about
It would
the
be funnier.
pinwheel man.
Yeah, turn him into goo and let me go get the
Yeah.
stone.
Okay, so you've struck the elemental. The elemental sort of reels back a little bit. Didn't expect that kind of.
Yeah, there's 10 more where that comes from.
Abran, it's
You
your
watery
turn.
bastards.
I would like to move off of the boat. Can I still move off the boat and still take an attack?
Yeah, you have plenty of movement and agility to do
Yeah.
such a thing.
All right. And then I have my bow, obviously, and I'm going to take my first shot at him.
All right. The elemental?
At the elemental.
Okay.
That's a 20 to hit
That hits.
with 10 points of damage on the first one.
All right.
And that was with my Colossus and that. And the second one is another 20 to hit with 9 points of damage.
Okay. All right. Both strikes. Both. Now you feel like the Colossus Slayer did significant damage. The arrow itself seems not as significant to water as you'd like it to be. It is absolutely doing damage, but not quite the amount it would on a fleshy target.
Expected. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Kay.
more of just to keep him busy.
Okay, it's your turn.
I'm going to shoot it again.
Okay.
I rolled a 20. That's 26.
No problem hitting.
At 20.
Ooh,
And 20.
yeah, double your dice.
That's 11 points of damage.
Okay. Okay. Pugil.
I am going to move the levitating guy into the arms of the water elemental.
In the arms of an angry elemental.
We need to get that stone, though.
Oof. All right.
That's our
I
payment
want him,
right
I
there. No
want
one
him
knows
just
he's got
right
it.
there, like he's nursing on the water element.
Okay.
Mm.
He's close to the breast.
Does a water
Yes.
elemental have a teat?
I don't
don't
think
think they're
so, but
mammals.
certainly have.
They're more like
Does it have a
elves. They're not
cloaca?
mammals.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an elf.
Okay.
I meant. Yeah, I didn't mean breast in the teat form.
Oh, okay.
So all right, Pugil moves. That's a bonus action for you, right, Pugil? Anything else?
It takes my action.
Oh, okay. Okay. Move. Thank you, Josh Foreman, for this raid.
Yes, thanks, Josh. And
Thank
thanks
you,
for the
Josh.
advice to get off the boat.
So the elemental sort of, without hurting this person, whooshes through them. The water separates around them. There's a little bit of pressure that moves them forward a little bit in this, but not a lot. Comes merging up over the boat, coming right at you, Corncob. I think that attack was enough that you are a threat. It moves right, sort of, part of it, even though it's in the water, sort of pushes over onto the boat, up sloshing against you. Make a strength saving throw as you are suddenly engulfed in like a wave of water coming over the boat at you. Focused.
I got a 6 plus 2,
Thank you.
so that's 8.
8.
Thank you, Casper.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this water sort of bludgeons against you, moves around. You're sucked up into it. You're thrashed against the boat. The oars, a basket comes up and clocks into you a couple ways. You suffer 12 points
There's no
of
place like home.
bludgeoning damage as it beats you around with stuff. And you are restrained and unable to breathe inside, basically, the water elemental that's hold its form.
You have my ring
over
of
you.
swimming.
True.
Just keep swimming.
So,
just keep swimming.
are you allowed to? Can you breathe with that? So restrained wouldn't change. 'Cause it's
I don't
grappling
remember.
you.
I also have water walking.
Okay.
And my
You'll be
other
able to
pen.
look in
I thought
in your
Didn't it just?
inventory and click it, and it'll tell you.
Yeah.
Can you water walk
don't know
through
that
the
I
grass?
edited my inventory.
It's grappling
Didn't
you
the-
as though a creature would be grappling you. So that part doesn't change,
Edits.
but you might be able to breathe if your rings allow you to, which would be very useful.
I'll try and look up. So you didn't add the item?
No, I can't. It doesn't
No.
work
Okay,
on
I
my
will try
I need
to
to add it.
ring of water walking.
I think that, yeah, I have that and the ring of swimming also, right?
You have
Yeah.
water walking ring?
Yeah,
I have both.
That's cool.
he can.
Alright,
He's,
so
I mean, normal water can't hurt him at all.
Yeah.
Living water, that's
neither
different.
of those mention being able to breathe underwater, sadly.
Okay.
So
that's
breathing
fine.
is still a problem. Okay,
Oh.
Gooseneck, it is your turn. You see this water pummeling Corncob inside the boat.
So I'm still inside the boat. I'm just being held down by a water elemental.
Exactly. It's like pushing you.
Okay.
It feels like a constant wave
Alrighty.
that's pressing you into the boat.
Someone make it into an otter pop.
Mm.
Okay. Can I?
You've got
Think
this
about this
person
for
in
just
your
a second.
hand, right?
I've got this guy. Well, you know what?
Bite his head off
Am I-
and come fight the thing.
Well, I'm underwater, so I don't know any of this is going on, right? Or
I mean, you could see you can't see what's happening in the boat. You just see the struggle. To you, it might look like a normal fight between Corncob and an enemy, but they're inside the boat with each other.
You might see the tail end of a water spout or something.
Definitely.
okay, well, okay, I'm. Can I? That's not going to work. All right, I'm going to let the guy go, and I'm going to crawl into the boat and try to pull Corncob out of the water.
Ooh, okay. So you're assisting in that. Make an athletics check as you grab him and try to free him from this.
15 plus 6, 21.
Oh, you do. You just sort of latch on to Corncob. You get a good grip of his otter pants and just whoosh him right out of the, the water. Yeah, and Corncob, you're able to take a breath.
All right, thank you.
Let's see. Very nice. Fathom, it's your turn.
Well, since those two are back on the boat, I'm going to use my bonus action to flick the wind again.
Okay.
And so everybody's clear of the water guy, right? So I will
Yes.
Eldritch Blast it.
Ooh, okay.
Let's see.
Wow.
17 plus 6. 23.
A hit?
Damn.
Yep. And then 15 points of damage total.
Whew,
That's
okay.
your cat familiar is paying off.
I know. No kidding.
She's a good kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it sort of pushes back. You see bits of water splash out and ripple around. The guy is still flailing in the air, completely useless. He's got no control at all. The only trick he had up his sleeve was this elemental. Corncob, it's your turn.
But I think so. At the start of their turn, they have to roll the save.
Okay.
Back.
The elemental does not save, and neither does this guy. So they also get pushed back. There you go. So they go back a little bit farther.
Keep away, so our missile people can.
Yep. So they're now at range distance as it comes around the corncob's turn.
Is he further than 60 feet away from me?
No. He's
Levitation
like 30
boy
feet.
is not?
No,
Okay.
he's 30 feet away. 40 feet. Levitation.
I hit him with a second level guiding bolt.
Ooh, okay.
I assume a 17 hits
It does.
for a range attack.
That little dwarfy hand like a periscope over the edge of the boat.
Bringing out these radiant bolts of energy.
Wow, 32 points of damage.
Bam.
And that's with the second level.
Wow. Okay.
Gosh, the rest of us can just go home.
The water is just ripping apart. It's very angry at you, Corncob, but you seem to be holding your own, that's for sure.
Murder.
I got another one in my pocket. Come at me.
Abran, it's your turn.
So what do I see the guy that the gooseneck left in the water? Where is he going?
He is swimming to the dock on the other side. There's a dock where that other boat you can see at the top of the frame is. There it is.
All right.
He is moving over to that one. In fact, he's a little bit closer now. He's probably in there.
Since I noticed my arrows weren't doing a ton of damage, and I think that Corncob is dealing that, I'm going to wheel around to the other dock.
Okay. A single move won't get you in an intercepting position, but a double move, so you can't take any other actions, could get you like right there at the dock in front of them.
Yeah, I'll double move.
Okay. Or
I'm not going to
move in a dash technically for all you rules-minded people. Same difference.
Whatever. Well, I'm there.
You are there. Right there where he is swimming. He hasn't looked up to see you yet. It was clear a moment ago.
And then I give him another boot in the face.
We got to interrogate him.
Oh, my God.
He'll have a hit point left, I'm sure. I'll heal him if I have to.
Okay. You've moved over there. Kay, it's your turn.
I am still going to shoot at the elemental.
Okay.
I got a 10.
So that is not going to hit him. It flies a little bit wide in all this windy, stormy, watery chaos.
Okay.
Okay. Pugil. You still want to stay up on your roof perch up there? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Pugil, in the bow of the boat.
Is it possible to draw a 20-foot circle around the elemental without getting either of the little guys in the circle?
Yes. 20-foot total diameter, not radius, but diameter.
Yeah, yes. So 20-foot diameter.
You could get the elemental without the two thugs, if you will.
Okay. Then I am going to cast Wall of Thorns on the elemental.
Okay.
Now, so I guess magical thorns spring up out of the sea.
Spiky seaweed.
Yeah.
Spiky seaweed.
Coral seaweed. Yeah. Thorny
Yes. So he's got to make a dexterity save.
seaweed. 4.
Ah.
I don't know, Pizza Dungeon Dice. You're not doing DMs any favor tonight.
He takes 40 points of damage.
Whoa!
Oh my lord!
Wow.
Wow!
So this seaweed thorns rip up around this water, and he just spreads him.
Man, I was
The
going to
water-
say, that took a lot of damage. Gee whiz.
The water
Yeah.
falls lifeless into the sea, and where there was rippling current and violent water before, there is nothing but the sea.
Now get that guy and gag him or kill him or something.
Yeah, I'll shut the fan so that Pugh can control the levitation easily.
Spinny boy.
I think I had to drop him, though, because to keep him
Drop
levitating,
him.
I had to concentrate. And so casting that other spell, I would lose my concentration, right?
Drop him. I'll walk out and get
Drop
him.
him.
Yeah, I think
I'll
Wall
swim
of
out
Thorns
and
is
get him.
concentration.
Yeah, so
Also,
boom.
so yeah.
So I have to drop the
Sploosh.
levitated boy.
So you drop the levitation. The Wall of Thorns rips through that. At the next round, the guy gets up to the dock and gets a boot to the face from Abran, who's waiting. Abran, you roll your 1d4 damage.
Wow.
Boot to the face him.
That would be 4.
Okay.
Is there like a damage bonus for that weird David Bowie spiky heel?
Yes, I have that. I do have that. Yes.
He falls unconscious in the water and begins to sink underneath it. You're free to
I
let
thought
him sink
Abram
or
was a
grab
kitten
him.
heel guy.
No, I pull him out.
Okay. The other one that was levitating, he falls splashing into the water. But
I'm going to walk out and get him.
that's right. You can just walk out and get him.
Yeah, let's. That ring's got to pay off at some point. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You just
walk
walk
out
out,
threaten him with your shillelagh.
reach down, and he's like, no, please, no. And you pull him up.
I'm going to attempt to just tie, I guess I'm going to rip a strip off of something I'm carrying and tie it around his face.
Not your otter pants, I assume, but yes.
No.
you tie him up.
I'm just trying to get him to not be able to speak.
Yep. And you take him back to the dock, I assume.
Yep.
All right. And Abran, you've pulled this unconscious.
Well, I could waterboard him. We could waterboard him. Oh, no.
Yes, let's do that. Yeah.
You've pulled this unconscious thug back to the dock as well.
I'm a little concerned about how eager Jason was about the waterboarding.
Yeah.
Let's tie him up. Well, we're already halfway there with the rag around his
is
face.
turning evil.
As
Those
long
otter
as I'm
pants.
Lawful.
it goes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I looked at
Yeah,
the Venn
lawful.
diagram.
Well, do
Yeah.
the laws of this country allow waterboarding? Not everyone does.
Great.
Well, I'm not. Then let's don't. Just tie him up then, and we'll keep dunking him in the water. I don't care.
Fathom
Why
and
don't we,
Kay, you want to stay up there, or come down with everybody else?
Oh, I would like to come down.
Okay.
Safely with assistance.
No problem.
So do we have him tied up?
So we're,
Yes.
And
we're out
gag?
of rounds, right?
Yes, you're out of rounds.
We have
You've
lots
got
of
them
rope,
tied up.
remember?
You have
What?
the threat that they had was this unwieldy magic device. They're pretty simple thugs compared to you all.
So
I'm
why don't we
going
take the
to
thugs
search
into-
his vest until I find the stupid stone.
Okay, you find a stone.
Let's go get Jin and
Let's bring him into
take the
Jen's
thugs
house.
to Jin and say, hey, now we can question
Take
him.
him inside so we don't attract any more attention than a giant animated water spout and that dwarf walking across the water
Okay.
and people standing on the roof. I mean, it's been a normal night down by the dock
We were
so
very
far.
stealthily standing on the roof, though.
You
Yeah,
were.
No one sees them.
That was not the weirdest thing anyone saw today, for sure.
Except for the lizard falling off the roof.
That was
No,
only
he
when
just-
they were coming down.
That was part
He
of the
just didn't
podcast.
stick his Spider-Man landing.
Yeah.
He didn't
That's right.
stick the landing. Yeah.
That's right. My duck pants made me slip.
All right, so you're all inside the building, except for Kay, unless she says otherwise, up on the roof, kind of scouting around still, unless.
No, I think we're done here. I'll go in.
Okay.
Yes, we might need a level head.
Or a
It could always
lawyer.
be supervised.
Yeah.
It's true. Okay, inside you go. And you've got them tied up well. It's not a huge building, so
I'm making sure that stone is well pocketed. I'm not going to talk about it to Jin at all.
Okay. There are 9 of you inside this building. It's like a party. All right, you've pocketed the stone.
I'm not going to mention it to Jin.
Okay. No problem.
We don't know the word, though. Don't we have to get the word off them?
Well, we
Or is
can
that
work
something
on
we could
that
learn
later.
later at our leisure?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Well, we
I
need to
just
get the
don't.
word.
I just
Right,
think
so
that
let's
this is
question
part
it
of our
for Jin.
reward.
Who are the guys? Who are these guys working for?
We can keep this pretty simple. Who's going to do the questioning?
I'll
Who's
do
got
the
a good
questioning. Who are you working
Who's got the
for?
best intimidation?
Well, Jason
Yeah,
must seem
I
pretty
think it's
scary.
probably
after
the-
he,
I
like,
have a +1.
I don't.
I bet
have
you
a
the
0.
giant lizard
I
with the huge
actually am
teeth
fairly
and
intimidating.
I don't-
Apparently,
I don't have any intimidation. I can.
I
mean,
have
I
a
can-
12 charisma and I have a +1.
I have a
Oh.
plus
I got a
four.
plus
Plus
4.
two.
Well, then you do it.
All right.
Who's got
think
anybody
Kay-
got better than a 4?
Fathom.
No,
No.
I'm 4 as well.
Okay,
Oh, you
then
two
let
do it.
Fathom do it. She's got horns. I'm only
Yeah, I'm
3 feet,
scarier.
2.5 feet tall.
Yeah, flick your
Yeah.
tail.
I'll come try to, look taller and look as demonic as possible.
Can you
Okay.
do the finger snap
Play
with the
with my
flame
tail.
coming off?
Oh yeah, I can just cast flame in my palm of my hand. So boys, let's talk.
What do you want to talk? What do you want to talk about?
Who hired you?
We would be in worse shape if we told you that.
Yeah, you're going to be dead pretty soon, so you might want to. I don't know what's
Yeah.
worse than dead,
Would
but
you?
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
you be able to, Jake?
What's worse than dead?
Fathom. With the response on that, you can make an intimidation check with advantage. You're having a little assistance from the background.
Right.
Let's feed him to the lizard.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently I was doing a great job because I rolled an 8.
With advantage, you rolled an 8. Okay.
With advantage, I rolled
I'm
an 8.
known
yes.
as an excellent
Nice
cook.
lovely.
Um,
The dice. Oh no, it's a 9 because of my luck, Tony. It's a 9.
no, I'm not talking. You could turn in the contract if you want.
Which contract?
Usual.
Jin, do you know who these people are?
So he looks over them and he says, "Unfortunately, I don't. I don't."
Does this
recognize
confirm any of your suspicions so far?
only that they would hire someone to make me quiet, but I don't know these individuals. I don't know who they're associated with. They seem like common criminals.
What if you
do
say
seem
the
like
name
common
and we're
criminals.
going to watch these guys and see how they react to the name that you think is the person who hired?
Okay.
Very good.
So everybody watching after you set up that plan, make perception checks as he turns around and he goes through a list of names.
5.
And he doesn't just
22.
read them off. He does sort of say, "I think it's this person," or "How about this person?" Or "You know,
19.
this person has something against me."
22.
22, 19, 5,
23.
23.
And then
11.
Kay.
22.
22, 11. Okay. So your 20s and higher. So I think that's Gooseneck, Kay, and Fathom, right?
Abram.
Abram. Okay.
I was 19, so I'm.
Okay.
It's Abram.
When they mention when Jin mentions Seth, you notice just the slightest bit of, and the way Jen says Seth has always been jealous of my business and my ability to preemptively make contracts in the best areas. You notice them maybe think that gives something away. You think that Seth is the name of their boss. And that's not a lot to go on, but you're just trying to get a reaction from them. They react the most to that.
Are they? Is the one I kicked?
Oh, go ahead.
Is the one I kicked? He's conscious again.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Jin, what would be the normal course of events here? We've caught the low-level people. So should we drag them in front into the contract issuer or guarantor?
They tried to assault me. It's against the law. They would be put on a trial for it. But with no evidence, there's no. I can't. I don't think the common process would be able to pin down that this is the contractor. Although I think it's the next first step. And
how big a dude is Seth? I mean, is he a tough guy? Does he control a lot around here?
He doesn't control a lot.
Is he?
He has a lot of.
Let's watch them while he's asking these questions too. How do they react?
Is he your equivalent? Is he your equivalent, another crab guy, or is he running a consortium? What's he doing?
He doesn't know any business well other than stealing other people's business. But he does that fairly well.
So he's a scourge.
Yes, I would say that.
Does the church council have methods of making these people talk?
Yes, I'm sure they do. I don't know if they utilize them on something as simple as beating someone up at the docks, but perhaps.
Well, we certainly have ways we can get them to talk. So I'd hate to turn them over if we could have a little fun.
In the city, is the penalty significantly greater for having employed a water elemental to do crime than it is for someone who's just beating you with his fist?
Interesting. They did bring magic into it. Oh, that could complicate it. It could make it worse for them.
Well, perhaps we can make a deal. If they cooperate with us, then the authorities will never have to know about the water elemental. But if they don't cooperate with us, the authorities will get the full story along with their heads.
Oh.
Separated from their bodies.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be hanging on by a sinew or two.
I do ask.
Be difficult.
I also asked the question to Jin while looking at them, saying, "So, Jin, we don't know this city. These are just two common thugs. If they're not willing to give us the information and confirmation that we need, my thought is they won't really be missed."
No.
Is that your
perception? Do you need some bait for your crab traps?
I don't think they would be missed at all. They do see
a couple of fingers or toes in each one of those traps, maybe?
Common to me. Abram, make an intimidation check.
10.
10. Maybe these guys feel like you're bluffing.
You know what we should... Okay. What's this building next door? Does Jin have any other building other than this one room?
This is all I can afford down here. This is my only... I rent this space.
Can I continue with my little path?
Yeah.
Then what we need to do is we need to separate these two guys so they can't get moral support from each other's presence. That way they don't know what's happening to the other one and who may have betrayed who, or who's been
Who?
murdered or tortured.
I
So
think we
should
send
separate.
one
I saw that
intimidator with
episode.
each one.
Yeah. CSI. I saw
Okay.
that episode. It's a good episode.
There's a boat. A
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take them out to the boat.
Let's
Take one out to
blindfold
the
them
boat.
and take one out to the boat.
Abram, are you taking
I
it to
gra-
the boat?
And
I'm taking the one that I knocked out to the
and
boat.
and
He's mine.
we'll have somebody outside screaming
Yeah.
and somebody inside screaming.
Maybe
Well, when
we
I-
don't want to make that kind of noise.
Why
When
are
I
we
poke
screaming?
them with my pointy
To
thing,
make them think that we're
my
hurting them.
sword.
Oh, I see. I get it.
We could cast a
Yeah, but
minor
that's going
illusion
to
of one
attract
of their
attention.
head.
A minor
Yeah, we
illusion
don't need to
would
make
be
noise.
very good.
If
Yeah,
we
we can
cast a
work
minor
together.
illusion, if we cast a minor illusion, somebody could bring in the head of the other one and say, "This is what's going to happen to you."
Make an illusion of the head with the guy with the pebble, because he was obviously the one that was trusted the most by the boss.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have the other guy out on the boat, so you come out with the guy, the fake
With
head.
the guy's head.
the
Meanwhile,
boat.
Fathom, try to get the magic word out of this guy. That's what we'd like to have as an elemental
Okay,
rock.
I'll try to
To fight our-
intimidate him.
when
with
that-
the magic
Yeah,
word.
when that dragon comes back to antagonize us, we want an elemental
Yeah,
to whip
That's
on
an
him.
upgrade from the Hellhound, that's for sure.
Fathom, you realize that if you just spent an hour with this, you could probably figure it out on your own.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. Yeah.
Oh.
So we don't
Oh.
have to spill.
So
gin
there's
that
no
we-
need for him anymore, is what we're saying.
Yeah, kind of.
Exactly.
Maybe we should just take his head off.
But my question is, do you need another component
Exactly.
of that?
I like
illusion?
goosenecks.
I could do the sound of the
No.
blood splattering down while you do the head.
Yeah.
Okay, you take the head, the illusionary head of this fallen comrade
This
out
is some
there.
biblical shit now.
Pugil. Fathom, you follow
Yeah.
behind to make sure there's some blood splatter sounds on
Yep.
the dock. Patter, 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 as you hold it up and take it out to him.
And I have my sword at his throat.
Pugil? What do you?
Yes.
How do you
Spill, buddy.
Make an at advantage. Make an advantaged intimidation check. Certainly. You have a hand.
19.
Okay. This is. Yes. No. Of course. It was Seth. It was Seth. Jen had it right. I don't want it. We were just supposed to rough him up. We're not killing anybody.
What did he offer to pay you?
We're each getting 5 gold and.
Well, you could
a
get
night,
10 now
a
if you went
night.
back to Seth, because you don't need to split it anymore. This is your lucky day.
Is it?
Is it?
No,
For
it's not.
such a
This isn't
pissant
over
job,
yet.
why would Seth send such a powerful artifact as the elemental stone on such a pissant job? I think you're blowing smoke up my skirt.
No.
And that's from a gnome. So
Yeah.
you're stooping pretty
I'm looking
low.
up at him all irate. I'm gonna stamp my little foot.
No. Seth he just gives help to his favored people. Jonathan was he trusted him. So he gave
Yeah.
him this to help.
Yeah. Jonathan
It
have a
was
Does
family?
Intimidate.
Jonathan
Seth
have a
have-
family?
Does Seth have a lot of magic items that he doles out to his cronies?
Some he's got some. He's got some.
What else? What else does he have that you know about?
I don't know. I don't know. It was people like Jonathan that knew.
And when are you
See, that
supposed
where
to
got
meet?
Jonathan.
When are you supposed to meet with Seth to collect your pay?
And what was your proof?
Well, all we get paid when Jen takes back the when Jen takes back the complaint. That's all we're supposed to do. He was just supposed to take back the complaint. So
when the complaint gets rescinded, when and where were you supposed to meet with Seth to receive your pay?
Make a persuasion check. He's duly intimidated.
13 plus 4, 17.
Oh, good job.
Well, yeah, so he looks very on the edge of whether or not he's going to talk or not. He's very, very really close. And then
I'll shake that head like a yo-yo.
I'm gonna just point at him and start waving my finger in a mystical pass.
Oh, shake that head like a yo-yo. Let me clip that.
So there's yes, we were gonna meet. It would have been just probably at the Mudworm. We would have got a message. And we would just at a table, dinner, drinks were on him, and we'll get a message. We'll get a message when it's rescinded. We'll just get a message.
You'll get a message
Not
at the
we
Mudworm.
anymore.
Well, just a messenger will find us. I mean, it would come to us. We have places we stay, and the message would come to us.
You're not dealing directly with Seth then?
Oh no, I'm not. Well, maybe Jonathan was. Maybe Jonathan would, but not me. I wouldn't. I'm just, he.
So, Jen, is this Seth considered to be like, I mean, I already asked you, is he a big dog crime boss or is he just a small time crab hustler?
Well, he has a lot of money in the town, but not a lot of, I mean, just some money. He pays a lot of people.
Make a lot of money sticking with small potatoes.
Yeah, and it's smart. He's smart. He's a smart businessman.
So do you think this is enough of a confession to get this guy in trouble with the council?
I think that's the way to go.
I don't think we need to explore the underworld of Ven.
Well, but if he's got a bunch
more.
of magic items, we
got 2 weeks.
Yeah. We know
get
that.
Our way to this guy. We could get our way to Seth and take out Seth and get the trove of magic items.
Right. Well, we're going to get Seth to hire us to beat up Jin.
Seth might have that fireball ring.
Obviously, we took out his first wave. I think we'd qualify to be his second wave, right?
Well, now that we know who he is, he's on our radar. But for this incident,
I think so. I think we turn it over. Lawful. They don't like vigilanteism, so
yeah, and so we could set up a sting if the temples are amenable. You say we'll get Jin withdraws the contract, and then when Seth moves to pay his thugs off, they sting him.
Yeah.
But then we won't get any
find out if
magic
Seth has any relation to the
the
Redwood Council.
I haven't heard of us killing anybody.
This is the way to go because now we're in good with the temples.
Yes,
we know we're lawful.
Yeah, we haven't transgressed past too far into unlawful territory, I think.
What does our lawyer say?
Yeah. Counsel?
I don't know. I got nothing.
Great, fantastic.
Oh God!
That retainer was a waste.
Yeah, it was. Let's turn him over.
Okay.
Yeah, I say
Get our pay
let's
for
let
the
temple
contract.
Okay.
try to get the temple to sting Seth.
Yeah, we need to, Jen. We need to meet with somebody from the church council.
Yes, let's arrange that. And let's just turn it in the way we normally do in business hours tomorrow morning.
Right. So, okay, tomorrow morning. So we got to sit on this guy till tomorrow.
Both of these guys, because we didn't really chop off the head of the other guy.
We could
Well,
take
we
them
don't
in
need to
tonight
let anybody know that yet.
if we wanted to. That
One guy
Just
could
keep a
stay
bag
trussed
over
up
the
in the
head.
boat for all I care.
you
Yeah.
take them in the morning. If you're just turning in for a contract, it's not a problem. They will.
Yep.
They will take it, pay it over. They're okay with the evidence in this to begin the trial. They might ask you to come in if you need, to say a few
Oh,
words.
yeah. I'm sure
But
we'll
they're
do
not
that.
interested in a sting on Seth.
It doesn't seem like the people you're talking to are interested in this sting. No.
I think we engineer our own takedown of
Flunkies.
Seth.
Yeah, it seems like, this is the process. They made a formal complaint. They've solved the complaint.
Yeah, he'll either be in hot water or not.
Yeah.
But we know stuff about Seth that we don't need to talk about
And
here.
maybe these guys will squeal to get themselves off the hook.
Yeah. We wash our hands of this now. We've taken the money. Contracts paid. Hopefully Jen's on our side. Hopefully the church thinks we're good people.
Jen is on your side. The church just thinks you're people. Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, let's not. I'm still not thinking we're bad people. I think we're coming
Exactly.
Right.
on.
Well,
Yeah.
that's sort of what I meant.
Yep. And that is where we will have to end this evening.
Yeah.
As you turn this in. I know that you have interest in the other two larger contracts. We can revisit that at the next game if those interest you. Or if you want to do the sting.
Working
That's
for
going to be up to
evil
you.
people.
Wait, or what?
But we'd be working for evil people.
Ooh, well, I mean, on approval from
As long as we're within the
highest.
council, I think we could do that.
Well, we have our own moral codes.
We should
We
probably
do.
do a little research on the ship. We should probably do a little research on the ship that we're
What?
trying to get on, so that if we're seen as being evil, we don't wind up upsetting the ship captain.
I'm more for getting on the ship as soon as it comes, but it seems like it's
Well,
still a
right,
couple
but that's a
weeks out.
week and a
Yeah,
half. How
that's a
much?
couple weeks away.
What can we get into? I mean, so far all we have ahead of us is
We can try to get some
redeeming
magic
the pawn
items. That's
ticket
what I-
for the stone over at the Tiny Pearl.
So
Yeah, let's go. Go ahead, Frank. Sorry.
one bit of information, and I don't, God, I hesitate. Frank hesitates to put this out there, but it's part of the story
Come
in the
on,
world, so I'm going
Frank.
to do it
Throw it
anyway.
out there.
Part of their reward for this would probably have been a night or just a visit to the wishing well, which is
Ooh. I want to go to the wishing well.
Let's find
What's
out what
the
it is
wishing well?
first. Michael.
What's the wishing well?
that is where I'll leave it for now.
I want to go to the wishing well.
Is it a restaurant or is it an actual genie?
You never know.
We'll find out in 2 weeks.
Find out.
I can't
I need a
Say
magic.
the
I need a
wishing
magic weapon before
Could
we
be a
get on this
bordello.
boat.
You never know.
You're not going to wish for beating someone up. That's not.
No.
We need
No.
a rest. I have
I got
expended
to
my
smartest somebody
magical
off the
energy.
boat.
There was quite a bit
Yeah,
of
Yeah,
physical
I'm
injury
pretty
being
down
expended.
too.
I
pulled
realize
off
You're the
3 spell slots.
There's not a lot of injury, but there was a lot of magic put out to avoid injury, I can tell.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
The gnome's about done.
we'll get that back in 2 weeks. Because it's unusual, I will take the opportunity before we end this to say Anne is probably looking for a raid for us because she's
Yeah.
in control of that tonight. And assuming no one has called in, because I don't actually know, I'm going to say thank you to Reaper Miniatures for allowing us to stream this wonderful, awesome game. Thank you to Trashrama and Fairy Bard for some of the awesome painting on some of the miniatures that were not the players for this evening.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And thank you to Sirenscape for our background ambient music. I will let everyone tell the viewers what you're up to and how they can see you during the week, or if they can't, where they might be able to find you. And I'll start with Bobby.
I just want to say thanks to you and Anne, Frank, and to the rest of the crew, and good riddance to Justin and John. I am
Losers.
just
Losers.
kidding. That was
Drive
really
that bus
a
over
great
that.
episode. Super tense. Didn't know whether it was going to go our way. I mean, it was tense and fun.
Yeah.
Finding me in public, I don't have much of a public presence. I just sit and
that's a good thing.
pull.
That's a court order.
I'm just just pulling my oar.
Yeah, pulling your oar. Yeah, there you go.
Just pulling my oar.
All right. Thank you, Bobby. Jason. Gene. Gene. Well, I'll go in order. Gene.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Frank. Thank you, Anne. Thanks to everybody watching. Thanks to all you guys for playing. I had a good time. That was fun. I'm looking forward to taking some of these other guys down in the city and then getting on the ship here in a couple weeks. And looking forward to it. So, thanks.
All right, thank you, Jason.
I'll thank all the same people that have already been thanked, and I'll thank everybody else that watched too. So thanks, everybody. As far as announcements, I'm going to let my co-host announce our guest on Tuesday in the Crow's Nest, but I will make a reminder that the only way to get the official Crow's Nest Poke Tool is you have to win it when you're in the audience on the chat.
That's true.
So thanks again, everybody.
Yeah, and if you're not appropriately obsequious, you can lose that prize.
That's right. Yes, it can be rescinded.
Wow.
But in all proper clarity, you were gifted that via a comment, and then you made another comment which negated your positive comment. So you never actually won a Poke Tool. You were kind of gifted a Poke Tool, and I pulled the gift back because your Minwax comment was totally inappropriate. So
Whatever. Everybody saw what happened.
but you know what? I'm gifting you a new one. All you have to do is do what Ron told you to do, and you can have
Justice is served.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
Thanks.
justice.
Michael.
Thanks again. Thanks for everybody watching. I really appreciate it. I mean, there was like in the 50s, 60s most of the time people watching. That was fun.
Great.
So yeah, it's neat that people are paying attention, and I hope they're enjoying it, and hope it's not boring. I hope you're not looking for something else when you're tuning in, that you're looking for D&D. I think that's fantastic.
You looking for a paint lady?
Yeah, don't look for some. I mean, it's every other Friday. We're gonna play D&D where there's no paint lady. We're here having a good time painting, right? So, all right. So let's get that over with. Maybe we'll have a disclaimer on the beginning of every show going forward. All right. So Crow's Nest Tuesday, special guest Trey Manor. Sculptor extraordinaire, known from his company, Redbox Games. He's got a few other projects in the works. Fantastic sculptor, all around good, funny dude. Please tune in. It's always a fun time with Trey. And the fortunate thing is he won't be typing, so he won't have any spelling errors, which is probably a good thing. So again, what Jason said, PokeTools. For every 3 subscribers during the show, we give away a PokeTool. And usually we find other reasons to give additional PokeTools. Sculpted by Julie Guthrie in the front, and then Bob Rodolphe did the little lettering in the back. Lettering inspired by Gene Van Horn's drawings of the fonts for the Crow's Nest show. So fantastic PokeTool. Best PokeTool on the market. Only way to get it is through the show. There's other PokeTools that Reapers have, but this is the best PokeTool by far. And yeah, big thanks to Frank and Ann for doing the show and getting everything together. I did not know that you had subcontracted out painting. So thanks for the painters that have painted up the other miniatures, especially the one that I kicked off the boat. That was a lot of fun. And
I like the pig cart.
Yeah, the pig cart was amazing. Yeah.
That's a great miniature.
Fairy Bard, and who was the other?
Trashorama painted a lot of the other.
Trash. Well, yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot Trash. But yeah, of course. Thanks so much. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm done.
Rhonda.
I also want to thank Frank and Ann and Fairy Bard and Trash, because I was really blown away with how cool all the scenery and the environment. And I mean, there was the town wall, like just every part of it.
Yeah.
All the fishing nets on the inn and the patrons in the inn. It was just super cool. That pig cart was amazing. I was admiring this awesome pig.
And the beggar.
Sculpted by
the beggar.
Oh, yeah, the beggar.
John very kindly sent me the ones I was missing. So if you want to tune in on Monday, I will finish the swatch chart, and I'll talk, for anyone who missed it, I'll talk again about good papers to use. Maybe I'll try some different stuff on stream and give you some more ideas.
When is that show? When is that show, Rhonda?
Mondays from 2 to 4 p.m. Central. Reaper time.
You get 2 full hours then.
Right, but I don't get in my ear Justin. So you get something I don't get.
Okay.
I just get text.
No, that's fantastic. 2 full hours of
text support. Try to say that.
2 full hours of painting power knowledge.
Yeah.
Or me rambling.
It's awesome.
Like, it depends on how you look at it, I guess.
It's tomatoes.
Well worth it. Thank you, Ron. Jen.
Thank you, Frank, and everyone. Had a great time as usual.
Thank you, Jen.
Since Jen left us some more time, I'd like to echo Bobby's statement about Justin.
Okay.
I mean, nobody really missed him. I mean, if we're going to be honest.
Dude, he's got to run our show on Tuesday.
Yeah.
It was a little extra scrambling over here.
It's not like he's going to go back and watch this.
It's not like you or I can do it. We'll have to get Ann to do it.
So
that's a clip. That'd be good.
Thank you. I already did my thank yous. I obviously am usually on Nightheart Gaming. Everyone else's shows they mentioned are on Reaper Miniatures. Make sure to tune in for those shows. And then if you want some more D&D, I'll be on Nightheart Gaming's channel, typically, and some other crafting shows and things. So we're going to raid somebody. Ann is picking out the raid tonight. I think she's picking out Wapelius. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Wapelicious.
Reaper Errant miniatures coming soon.
Yeah. Ooh.
Ooh.
Definitely in the works, right?
Soon.
Soon. With big air quotes. Yeah, you'll get a box soon.
Absolutely. You'll get 2 or 3 if you want them.
2025.
Yes.
Everyone, enjoy your evening if you're going elsewhere or if you're going on this raid. Do all the love that you would do and say hi for us. Spam all those emotes. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Credits.